You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and, welcome to another episode of the TADPOG podcast. Just a homespun, artisanal podcastery, cobbled together with clay and sweat.
Cobbled together?
Cobbled.
No.
No, this is masterfully crafted together.
Yeah.
We're not artisans here. Yeah. We're master craftsmen of podcasting.
Are we?
Yeah.
Really though?
That's why we have all these awards. All these podcasting awards.
Yeah,
Look at them.
We don't have to turn the lights on. They glow so brightly.
Yeah.
We do have a YouTube award somewhere that were homemade by somebody for us. Thank you, Mike. Artisan Craft blue YouTube button for our 400, I think, subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
Just more than I would have thought.
It's good.
Thank you, Three Ninjas.
Yeah, really. Thank you. Overwhelmingly majority of downvotes, which shows you how
Can't
much
see
I
them
spent on
anymore.
YouTube.
Can't see those.
Yeah, right.
People are starting to write downvoting
in their
comments. Yeah.
But that's ridiculous because doesn't that just help the video?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
the algorithm's like, wow, this is hot. Let me spew it out to other people who fucking hate it. I know what to do.
Oh, and I have to say something. I need to introduce myself. I am your wizened host, Ian.
Oh my God.
It's now official that I'm a host. They said in the Discord that if I said introduced myself as your wizened host, Ian,
There you go.
then I'm officially a host of the show.
There you go.
So
I don't like that.
No, I'm not going to use that all the time.
No, I don't mind you doing that, but I don't like that being a rule because then like the next fucking jackass who comes in off the street is like, Baba Booey, I'm the wizened host of the show. It's like, fuck, now he's a host too.
Everybody's a host.
Shit.
Just don't let anybody in.
Some asshole who might have had the last name as a fruit could have wedged onto the show, made his way in, and then said, I'm a host. Just like you said, that could happen. So you're right. Not a rule.
They were riffing on the whole Terrified Michelle call thing that we had where she was saying something about me not being a host. And
oh, yeah.
they were talking about that in the discussion on Discord. And then Dane said, when he introduces
Mr.
himself
Puzzles?
as yes, Mr. Puzzles
himself,
he introduces himself as wizened host. Then it's official. So.
I motion that Ian be considered wizened host Ian. Any seconds?
Oh wait, should I do that?
I don't know that you can't.
I can't do
well,
that.
you're a host, so I guess. I guess.
I want to keep being wizened sage, but
Yeah.
I just had to say that as
Wizened sagacious host. Ian.
Oh, that's rough.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I like wizened host.
Sure.
How about grizzled host?
Ooh, now I do like grizzled.
Oh,
host.
there you go.
You're grizzled host.
You're grizzled host.
You're rough spun grizzled host.
You're drizzled toast.
It's the only way to toast.
I like drizzled.
baby.
Drizzled toast is pretty good.
Drizzled toast, Ian.
Changing my name on the Discord server tonight.
And
Right now, I'm wizened sage and dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to make everybody wait until this comes out on Wednesday to know what the fuck your name change is all about.
Drizzled toast. I'm gonna give you a little powdered toast man picture for my
There you go.
avatar. There we go.
There you go. Or just his buttocks.
Just the buttocks.
Yeah.
It's the part that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, courtesy of our own resistance against the randomizer of our choice, we're going to talk about Plok.
We turned the key.
Plok.
Yeah, we turned our keys.
Turned our keys, which is fine.
because we didn't want to play end to end. Something sterling.
Sterling silver?
Silver.
Yeah.
God.
Sterling. It's not sterling
It sounds
silver.
made up.
Is it?
Yeah, sterling
Sterling
silver.
something.
That's like
Sterling gray.
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't remember now.
We'll find out next week or whenever we do
whenever we decide to do it.
I might have it in here.
Roger Sterling?
Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp.
With an E.
That much.
I knew it was some form of alliteration.
Yes. Yeah, it does sound totally, it sounds totally made up. Sterling Sharp. It's like a late 1800s porn star name.
It is. It is. We had last week rolled a football game right after having done all the hockey games that EA put out.
Hey, I feel like that went well.
It did.
I
like that. I think we could choke down a football game.
Surely. By this point.
Choke down Sterling Sharp.
We got some delicious Plok to handle this week.
We can get our ends to end.
Yeah.
but yeah, we got some Plok.
Plok for you.
Plok it out.
Plok.
What you guys been up to this week?
Went to the dentist.
How'd that go?
It went well.
Yeah,
good.
Nice.
Went well. I didn't have any cavities, and my gums are looking okay.
Good.
From all the flossing.
Yeah. Still doing that.
I still got the stains from the coffee and the cigarettes, that's a thing. But that's been...
And there's like, knock that off.
I was born with spots on... Well, my permanent teeth, when they came in, they had spots on them.
Leopard's teeth, they call them.
Leopard's teeth.
Not to be confused with leper's teeth.
No,
that
definitely.
just fall out.
That's where just applesauce comes out of your mouth.
Yay.
No, it was...
Hot applesauce.
Just drizzling on the toast.
That's in Eliza Loch Lamora. That's one of their cons they run is they would get a suit and rubber band off the sleeves and fill it with like hot applesauce and pretend to be lepers so no one would touch them. They can kind of walk in or get around the guards and stuff.
It's a lot of trouble to go to.
I get it though. It gets the job done.
Amazing book series. Amazing book series.
Well, apparently the spots on my teeth came from my mother had to take antibiotics when she was pregnant with me.
Yeah.
And they were 1970s antibiotics, so they were probably, the same thing they give to like horses and cats and stuff, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that happened. And then they don't do the standard brushing, just the once over brush and floss at my dentist. They do the full on laser water thing.
Oh, yeah. I think they all do that now,
Is it a thing now for every dentist?
I think it's just a thing now.
Oh, okay. Well, she got in there.
I don't want no goddamn laser water. I don't know that for fuck sure, man.
They
some liberal laser,
liberal ass laser water. But they laser watered my teeth, and he came in and looked, and he said, "Oh well, you're okay." He said, but he's like looking at my teeth. He's like, "Man, you got some of these stains that are pretty deep in here." He's like trying to scrape at it a little bit, and he's trying to whatever, and he's like, "Hang on a minute, I'm gonna go get a wheel." I'm like,
a wheel?
A wheel.
Like a pizza wheel? Like one of the cutters?
I didn't know what to think. I was like,
a color wheel.
Okay.
A color wheel. I bet it was a color wheel.
He gets up, he runs back into his this guy's like go all the time.
The wheel of fortune. How much is your bill going to be?
Yeah.
Back into his office.
This is Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. You know how they say you should never, the old joke is you should never pick at your teeth with a metal hook or something, because but then you go to the dentist and that's exactly what they do, right?
Yeah.
But one of the other things they probably shouldn't have to tell you. Well, that's true. Yeah. One of the other things they shouldn't have to tell you.
I saw you start to make. You thought of a joke and then you restrained yourself.
Nope, I'm good.
I could see it. It was like on my. No offense, but it's like when I like. It's only because I don't see a blinking light on my computer anymore. But when I was a child, my 486 would go blink, 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 blink.
When it was thinking.
Yeah, I saw that on your face.
Give me a sec.
Well, I do pay my dentist to fuck me. That's true. Cha-cha-cha.
It's a pretty good joke.
Anyway, one of the things they shouldn't have to tell you, and I've never heard, is don't use a Dremel sandpaper wheel on your teeth. He went back and he got a fucking sandpaper wheel. And
the fuck?
And put it on the end of their little drill and
bring the laser back.
Tried to sand my teeth. And he's like,
I've always wanted to use this.
And I'm like,
take it easy, serial killer.
I know, right? I'm like seeing it didn't hurt
now
anything.
Spit.
Yeah.
I'm like seeing the dust.
Yeah, was he Steve Martin?
No. But I'm like seeing the dust from my teeth
Oh, that's fun.
coming
that's
up, and, the big bright light, and I'm like,
site under construction.
he's sanding my teeth. I'm like, stop sanding my teeth. He's like, well, I said, no, you know what? I can live with this. Just don't put the sandpaper on my teeth.
I'm already married.
Anymore.
It's fine. She
good.
knows. She knows about stained teeth. It's good.
It's fine. So, and I thought they looked fine after they got the laser water treatment, everything else. But he just picks at it, trying to, whatever. So the other thing he says is, so I've got this bump in the top of in the roof of my mouth.
Okay, like describe it. How
Too
big
much
is it?
hot
It's
pizza
about the
for
size
40
of,
years.
It's about the size of a small walnut.
Oh, that's where your prostate is. You found
Right.
it.
You just miss it. That's
your second leak
the
trigger.
second leak trigger.
Just drool pouring out of Ian's mouth. We just,
This is like, check this out.
someone does
No one's ever done that before.
like the mankind style mandible claw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you come out your nose.
I don't know how I got pregnant. We only did oral. So it's the opposite of cleft palate. In cleft palate, the bone doesn't grow together at the roof of your mouth. You've got this soft palate problem. They gotta join that together so that you're not like poking up into your nasal cavity and your sinuses and stuff when you whatever. I've got the opposite.
Too much bone.
Too much bone. A lot.
It's a good problem to have,
Apparently,
right?
I guess.
Kloofed.
He said
Kloofed palate.
apparently a lot too much bone. And I mean, it's been there my whole life. So I never even realized it wasn't like
Well, now
normal.
I'm like tonguing back in my mouth and like
It's huge. I'd show you, but I don't want to.
that's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I get it.
It's huge. I don't want to show
Because
you.
now I'm
You'll feel bad.
self-conscious about it.
You'll feel bad about how big it is.
Well, I've been self-conscious about it for years because my second wife, Laura, she pointed it out because she's a speech language pathologist, so she knows all the
explains
mouth and throat
And also
things.
awful.
Right.
So take that in consideration.
In a lot of ways.
Hey, let me tell you what's wrong with you.
Right? She'll do that. But anyway, so I've been self-conscious about it ever since. And I finally got around to asking the dentist because it was 16 years before I went to the dentist after that. And then they told me.
That's normal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah, that's
definitely
totally
have done
normal.
that.
Absolutely. They told me about this. He says they called it a tori. He called it a tori. I don't know how that's spelled or whatever, but he said, yeah, some people have it. It's just an overgrowth of bone. It's nothing to worry about unless you need dentures. So you need to keep your teeth. And I'm like, why? Well, apparently if I ever need to get dentures, it's going to be very hard to fit me for them because of this big thing in my mouth.
Your saddle horn.
Yes, it's a saddle horn, my tori. And he says,
It sounds powerful.
it sounds powerful.
Fucking tori. Look at that dude's fucking tori.
Dude,
I French kissed Ian and that fucking tori.
I
Good
can
lord.
feel it with my tongue.
Yeah.
He
It's like I was
says,
playing Hungry Hungry Hippos in there.
he
I
said,
do as the Torah I command.
he said
not my
as
fault.
nonchalantly to me as he said, basically, I'm about to sandpaper your teeth. Oh, they'd have to probably go in there and remove that bone, a bunch of that bone to get it fit. I'm like, remove the bone from in the roof of my mouth?
Yeah.
Thanks. But if I poke that thing with a Dorito, I'm in pain for a week.
Stop doing that.
Fuck that. And
You know what they call this in the dentist industry? Scare tactic.
yeah.
You're letting this
Yeah.
dentist push you around, man.
He's just trying to make sure. He's just trying to get me to quit smoking. That's what it is.
Well, that's not going to make it go down. is it?
No. But it'll keep me from having to have dentures.
You're not my lung
He
dentist.
says.
Back the fuck off.
Right. But he did say it was the biggest one he'd ever seen. So I got that going
Hell
for me.
yeah,
which
man.
is nice. So, yeah. That was
Congratulations.
my visit to the dentist. I got dremeled on my teeth and told that I had the biggest tori this man had ever seen.
That's good. That doesn't happen every day.
No, it was an
That's
adventure.
two almost Jewish words.
I know, right? It sounds very Jewish.
Yeah, Tori is almost a Jewish word.
And your Dremel.
yeah.
Dremel.
Yeah.
It hurt my Torah.
It sends my teeth to clay. I don't know. I got my Retroid
Hey, look at
Pocket
that.
2 Plus today.
Oh, shit.
I have no games loaded on it yet. Mr. Big Dick Pie Baker Chris Vaughn is working on that for me. He's sending me the thing, but I thought I'd pass that around. For
Yeah,
you.
man, that
It's-
looks nice.
It's
I think you
dressed
should-
up like a Super Nintendo.
I know.
I think you
that's
should
good.
watermark every screen with a giant dick and a pie.
I agree. I don't know why he doesn't do that.
I'll mock that design up for you.
That.
Perfect.
I'll give you a free graphic design hour, and I'll do that for you.
Perfect. So I know you were worried about the buttons, but
they're good.
Yeah, they feel like they're pressing
Chris told me that the buttons on this particular model, which I don't know if I mentioned this before, they're painted to match the button colors of the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Instead of dyed. And apparently on early models of this thing, like the ones that were sent out to reviewers and stuff, I guess the paint was too thick, and so the buttons were sticking and not as responsive or whatever. But according to Chris, at some point in the process of manufacturing, they got word that this was happening and they corrected it. So I got it today, and that was the first thing I checked, and the buttons feel fine. Everything seems good. So Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. I'll let you get that back in that I took out. That way I don't rip it off trying to get it back in.
Oh, I probably will. It's got a HDMI out.
That's what I was checking out all the ports.
Decent little speakers. Of course, I haven't gamed on it yet. I'll fuck with this later. This is a bad design thing. The SD card slot cover is poorly designed. Doesn't want to go back in there.
Probably a Torai thing.
It's got to be. It's got to be. I'll put that back later.
Well, I'm sorry I broke your new toy.
No, you didn't. You didn't break it. But it's got it runs on Android. It's got a nice little touch screen. Got everything all like set up, joined to Wi-Fi, and downloaded the emulators and all the stuff that goes on it. And
awesome.
So yeah, I have my first official retro gaming toy.
I love it, man.
Designed for that purpose.
It's a shame you didn't get to play Plok on it, though.
I know. I was so hoping because I'd heard
your first Super Nintendo game on there might be Sterling Sharp's end to end.
Way to break it in.
Run it through its paces.
See how it handles that awesome football action.
Hey, it might be really good.
It might. I'm not discounting that possibility.
It probably won't be.
It won't be, but it might.
But it might.
It could be a hidden gem of a football game.
It might be.
Might be.
There's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm sorry about that cover.
I'm just sorry it's so badly designed.
I swear to God, all I did was open it. Yeah.
I'll get it. I'll fix it.
You busted the cherry on his new.
I know, man. I
haven't even held it for 5 minutes.
I know.
I'm teasing.
According to my preacher, if you pray long enough, it'll heal back over.
Oh yeah.
You're specifically your preacher?
No.
Okay, good.
But I have preachers on TikTok where I see clips of.
Oh, so you're a preacher?
Yeah, my preacher.
You're on TikTok.
Church and TikTok.
You're on TikTok way more than you're in church.
You're goddamn right.
So I think that counts.
I grew up in church, and I've probably been on TikTok more.
Damn.
Yeah, that is saying a lot.
So that's me.
I'm glad you got it. I'm excited to hear a full review on it and see how it runs.
Hoping to have my SD card by probably this weekend, I think. He said he was going to drop it in the mail today, so I'll get it probably tomorrow or Saturday. Awesome. And hopefully, definitely by the time this airs. And I plan on making good use of that guy to play my games for the show.
Rad.
$99. Hell of a deal. Great build quality, good screen quality. Worth $99 easily.
Yeah.
Worth more than $99, but definitely a good price point on those. Get one.
But you, Dave, what you been up to?
Working a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Was that exciting?
Yeah. No, it's good.
Is that an exciting intro story?
It's bonding and embrace.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah. What'd you do this week? I worked a lot and came home real tired and slept. Saw my son for 2 hours a night in bed. Well, it hasn't been that bad. We're still doing Ring Fit. So we got that going for us,
Cool.
which is nice.
Good. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Damn it.
right.
I'll bring it next week.
Okay. Reviews of it as a legitimate fitness tool were pretty good online when I did some research. Yeah,
it gets your heart rate up. I mean, it
Yeah.
gets you going. So I can
Definitely.
see if it's an alternative to nothing.
Yeah.
It's a good alternative to nothing.
It has definitely, like, this week has been like, because, last time I talked about it, I only spent like one session with it. Having spent like the week with it, which I'm not doing every day, I'm doing probably 5. I've done like 5 days since. At first I was like, man, this is bullshit. Like, this is better than nothing. But I was like, I'm burning like fucking 27 calories here and there. And it's like, I mean, that's better than nothing. But then like last night I was like, oh, okay, I burned 100 calories. All right. That's like good. That's still not like gym level. But that's good for running in place.
It's still cardiovascular
in my underwear. Yeah. And then it's like they do like they're throwing shit in there now because like as you progress, you unlock new exercises. And so like they're throwing shit in there where it's like, oh, we're throwing planks at you now. And it's like, oh man, planks are fucking hardcore. So of course I switched that in because it's like, well, if I'm gonna fucking do this, let's fucking do it. But it's nice because you can switch exercises in and out. So it's like if you don't want to do planks do more damage, which is it's neat. They like do more damage against monsters, but if you want to do a different abdominal exercise, you can. It's just going to deal less damage to the monsters. So they do a really they designed a good gamification of exercise. And I didn't really have that insight when I was talking about it last week. I would have said that. Like they do a really good job of gamifying it.
I agree. Yeah.
It's like they're like each course is kind of designed and like each course is designed for you to work out in a specific way. And like you unlock this ability for like called color coding, where it's like you'll deal more damage to red enemies if you're using a red exercise.
Oh.
And all red exercises are arms. There's yellow, which is abs.
I remember that.
There's green, which is yoga. And then there's blue, which is like legs. And like there are knee lifts and stuff like that are also like that's where all the burn calories come in for me because it's just like lift your legs up and down until we say stop, essentially, until this monster's dead. You can quit if you want, but that monster's not going to die. So I think they did a really, really, really good job of like gamifying that. I still don't feel like it's like it's not doing me as good as going to the gym was, but it's a fuckload more convenient.
Yeah.
And like a lot more fun too.
That's why I can't go into a gym. That just doesn't work for me. I need to be at home making it as convenient as possible, or I just won't do it.
Yeah, it's tough. I totally get that. I was doing it, but like I couldn't do it now. And it's like getting out of the habit of going to the gym because of COVID also has just been like, this is a good way to like get back into, just ease back into being a little more active.
Sure.
And it's like, I feel it, which is just a testament to how out of shape I was probably. But it's like after doing those planks yesterday,
planks are real.
like this morning,
fuck
and
around.
even like just flexing my abs now, it's like, oh yeah, I did planks. That's right. I did
I
planks.
seem to remember, wasn't there a thing where when you're running, if you squeeze the wheel together, it puffs out a laser beam or a puff of air or something?
Yeah, a little puff of air to get like break box crates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can pull on it too to like use it as a vacuum.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's neat how they did it.
Yeah, I honestly think it's great. And like Henry's still being into it and Nikki's still being into it. It's like, okay, this is good. And it's like, that's a huge win for me. Just for Henry's pretty active. Nikki is about as active as I was, which was not very active at all. So we're getting back into this shit slowly.
I'll get it. Because I've kept to my calorie count so far since the year turned.
That's good.
That is
you haven't
good.
gone over at all?
43 calories one day.
That's really,
on
really,
Melissa's
really
birthday.
good.
So
That's really good.
other than that, it's just been trying to find everything to work out. So
I'm on that calorie counting too again. For now, once I get to, I think 5 more pounds gone, I'm going to go back to just maintaining.
Maintenance,
But
yeah.
see, the problem with maintenance is that's when I get lazy with tracking calories. When I'm trying to lose weight, I'm fucking vigilant with that shit. But when I'm like, all right, I've reached destination weight, then I just like, well, I don't really need Fitness Pal anymore. I can eyeball this. And then it gradually over time gets worse and worse and worse because it's like, well, this is only a little bit more than I ate yesterday.
Yeah.
I only had 1 Big Mac yesterday. I have 2 today. So I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that you've been good.
So far, I just gotta figure out how to get the workout in.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. But I think honestly, like I don't know if you'll like Ring Fit because like I know you are way more into like
weightlifting.
Yours is strength training.
My body responds very well to strength training.
Yeah.
Being a dwarf, that is how it goes.
Yeah, so I don't know how you'll feel about it. You know, I'm the opposite because it's like I like doing cardio and my body responds well to that.
Yeah, that's the same for me. If I'm doing any sort of regular cardio, I could start burning weight off like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I don't know, weightlifting has like even when I've done it and it's like, man, I feel stronger. I do not look any different at all.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's just like but like Brandon was telling me this, like when he started lifting years back, he told me that it was like he was on, I guess, the subway and like the subway kind of like shimmied and he caught himself on the pole and it was like, oh, that was easy. So it's like, I can kind of, when I lift, I can feel that. Like I can feel some of the strength, but it's just like, just look exactly the same. Not any bigger or more toned or anything like that. It's just, I just feel like I can perform menial tasks more efficiently now.
I remember when I was going to the gym pretty regularly. I think me and John and a buddy of ours from Systems, we would always see you. I used to see you guys out there. Yeah, I did that for probably about 6 months, 7 months of just regularly going twice a week, and it was. I would do a little cardio and then I would do some strength training, and I remember probably about 4 or 5 months in, we got a new washer and dryer, and I picked up the old washer and moved it out by myself.
God damn.
And I was like, fuck, I can pick up a washing machine.
That's the old Torai kicking in.
Yeah, it is. The Torai power. And I was like, wow, I am actually stronger because there's no way I could have moved that thing before.
Yeah.
Now I can't. Now, nor could I do that now because I haven't worked out in forever. But
maybe it was that like car fell on your baby mom strength.
Could be.
Maybe
I got that adrenaline rush. I don't know.
Get there if I get angry enough at something.
Yeah. It was remarkably not difficult to move that thing
That's good.
out. So, yeah, it does. But I didn't look any different either. Looked the same.
Because, well, I mean, there's so many different types of strength training, like training for like functional strength. I mean, you'll see changes, but not like a bodybuilder, not like training for hypertrophy.
Mm-hmm.
And hypertrophy training is you'll look bigger, but man, you put a bodybuilder against a functional strength, hypertrophy, ultra trophy, then hypertrophy,
megatrophy,
super trophy.
That's the order.
But like a bodybuilder is going to get his ass beat by a functional strength guy.
Like what do you mean? Like just lifting stuff?
Yeah, they're just. I mean, you can just train. You're going to be strong, but you can just train to make your muscles bigger.
Yeah,
without like increasing, increasing, because once you start to lift, you won't see anything for a while because it's your body just getting more motor neurons before it's building more muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are also things you can do to, you just increase muscle size, but not necessarily like, the strength in the muscle.
Gotcha.
So that's why a bodybuilder, you should be super fucking strong.
Yeah.
But not as strong as somebody who's just training to pick heavy shit up and move it.
Right.
Well, and that's what you see in some of those like strongman competitions. These guys look like they just rolled off the pickup truck and had a 6-pack. They're not like big.
Yeah, world's strongest man people
They just look like regular average. They're big dudes usually, but usually they're just big dudes, not like you don't see their muscles. Tanya's father was that way. He was a big fella and didn't look any, more powerful or strong than anyone else. But boy, he was so fucking strong. He could break things with his bare hands, or like if he ever
style.
Yes, if he ever like grabbed my arm for something, I'd be like,
you knew it.
Damn, dude, this dude had a grip in his arms, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. Just like those guys that are like,
eat.
Yeah.
You're not going to look pretty if you're strong. You have to fucking eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're out there tossing capers and stuff, and it's like, they're fucking ridiculously strong. They just don't look like bodybuilders.
Yep.
So I can see what you mean by the difference.
Because
in
what
body
Norse
types.
Thor, like the actual depiction, like huge fucking gut, man titties, like, but that's what strong Vikings fucking looked like.
More like
So-
it looked like Fat Thor from Endgame.
Yeah.
That was actually a more accurate depiction.
Fat Thor
of
should have been stronger than regular Thor.
I mean, at that time, he did kind of fuck around with Thanos and win. So I guess maybe there's some truth to that.
So all that like I don't know, knowledge that you just dropped kind of tells me, you might not like Ring Fit.
Well, your
It's like-
kids might though.
Yeah.
I want to balance strength with cardio, though.
Yeah.
Because you need both, especially like. I mean, I want to look better and lose fat, but I mean, I could be all big, but I want to be able to like
You don't want to be winded.
keep up with
easily.
Kenna when she runs, be able to catch Jack and not just fucking be what is it? Because they even talk. There's a form in Dragon Ball Z called Ultra Super Saiyan where they get huge fucking muscles and they're incredibly strong. They're stronger than Cell, who they're trying to fight, but they cannot fucking catch him. They cannot. They're not. He beats their asses. He's not as strong, but no one can fucking catch him.
Right.
So you realize, just having big muscles doesn't really work anymore.
And that's how that episode of Dragon Ball went.
I'm King Prince Vegeta, King of all Saiyans, and I got these muscles.
Fucking fast guy. So I'm curious to hear if you do it, if it works out. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it.
Because for a while, when I was doing that Les Mills pump, which is more like, and I lifted heavy on it, but it's also like I did Ultimate Warrior, which was like a punching, kicking cardio set. And that that translated, I did that when it was super cold outside for like 3 or 4 months. And then that translated right into me being able to run like I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cardiovascular, I was built up. I was fine.
Right.
Translated way better than I thought it would.
I had a buddy who did that. What was that one that was real popular for a while? It was a series of like DVDs or whatever that.
I did all the P90Xs.
P90X, that's the one. I had a buddy who was really, really into that, and he got straight fucking.
I did P90X, P90X2, and started P90X3.
Yeah.
I did all those all the way through, and I would run 4 miles on top of it. That was probably when I was in peak shape.
Peak condition.
But that's all I fucking did.
That's one thing he
Like-
did say. It was just all consuming.
Yep.
You know, you have to dedicate so many hours per week to this, where it's just like, what the fuck am I? All I'm doing is exercising.
I would go to school, come back, work out 2.5, 3 hours, then worry about food and everything like
And
that.
then you had to fucking.
That's absolutely
load up.
an impossible thing to do now.
You lost,
nor would I want to.
You lost me at exercise for 2 to 3 hours a
Oh,
day.
yeah.
No.
Because I would do P90X, like, the lifting and my weights and everything for an hour and a half. Then I would go run however much I can manage in an hour, typically like 4 or 5 miles. And then I don't want to do that shit anymore. I've got better things to do. I want to be fit and healthy, but I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want like, well, no, Bliss, I'd love to hang out, but I'm going to go suffer for an hour. Bye.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck that.
You don't want to take the joy out of your life.
So if I could do-
what there is, for me,
Because
I'm going to
Body
replace
Beast-
what little joy I do have with exercise and stuff.
If it makes you feel any better, you're speaking for me too.
There we go.
Sex, no. I'm going to go lift some weights in the garage. I'm going to put on a video of very big, shiny men and lift some weights.
Wait, why did I start doing this to begin with?
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll lift you up and throw you around and have good sex someday when I'm ready.
Hello Fresh update, not an ad. It's really working out for us.
Nice.
Yeah,
Perfect.
It's been really, really nice. It's been good. Like not just the food has been good, but like the saving money has been nice. Because it's not like it's cheap, but it's still hella less expensive.
Cheaper than Wendy's for 3 people.
Eating out literally every night. Yeah.
Is that right? We've been talking about getting into it as well, and I was anxious to see how it was going to go for you.
Yeah. I mean, your mileage may vary because like I don't know if you're we're not very thrifty when we eat out. It's usually just kind of like, oh, it's a treat, right? This is a treat that we have that we do every day. It's a treat, right? Well, let's spend a little money.
No, we don't. We don't like dollar menu it. No, by no means.
Okay. I was about to say, yeah, because if you're doing that, which you can do, I mean, you can.
If I'm going, I'm going. You know, I get the things I want, and not say, well. And Tanya's very picky about that stuff too. So we don't compromise. If we go to McDonald's, we're getting what we want, and it usually comes close to $20 fucking every time we go there.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
And we don't most
for
of the time.
$2 more, you just go to Longhorn. Or
exactly.
Like,
it's not wrong. And we were talking about that last night because I went to Dairy Queen to get some burgers and some chicken.
Dude, Dairy Queen is super fucking
so bad
expensive.
anyway. And Colin spent the night last night, so I had to buy food for him. So it was pushing $30 for the three of us to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like $10 a person is fine when it's one person.
Right. Yeah.
Not when it's three. And we do that, maybe if we did that twice, that's $60.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's leftovers too with HelloFresh.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to get better about, because.
Yeah, you're not going to have any leftovers with your spicy chicken sandwich combo.
Right. Yeah. So like Henry's been eating some of the leftovers, which has been nice. You know, when he's not at school, like on the weekend, he'll eat like some leftovers for lunch. And I've been trying to do better about not fucking getting Jimmy John's every day.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hard to do because it's like, man, I've been working hard.
Delicious.
It's Jimmy time.
I'm gonna treat myself once again.
It helps that I work where I do. So it's just,
you got food.
You got food.
And it's like, oh, I can get a salad. Oh, what'd you make today, Casey? Oh, broccoli. Okay, sure. All right. Sounds good.
That is good. And you don't have to pay for that, right?
Nope. If I'm strategic about it.
Right.
So like if I were to
Sneaky,
it's the same rules I lay out for everybody. It's like
you can graze.
Yeah. You take whatever's on the patient line when after we serve all the patients, whatever's there, cool, free for the taking. Out in the cafe, you can eat X, Y, and Z for free. You know, so I follow those same rules. So yeah, we pretty much just been for the job.
Cool. Watched a neat show this week.
Yeah.
It's a new one on Netflix called Archive 81. Have you seen this thing?
No.
It's about this guy who his profession is around restoring old tapes, like old media, audio tapes and film and things like that. And
does this go into the paranormal? Please tell me.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Goes
Good.
into
I
the
was
paranormal.
hoping. As soon as you said old tapes, I was like, I heard a ghost.
Well, there was
mostly snuff porn, you know, that he
still
finds.
in.
It's like, oh shit.
I'm still in. Keep talking.
He gets commissioned to do this project this woman had been working on her dissertation as for the people that live in this apartment building in New York called the Wisser. I think it's the Wisser was the name of it. Anyway, but the apartment building burned down. They recovered the tapes and they were intact but damaged heavily. And it took them forever to find these tapes, but they got them, and then they hire this guy. They say, you got to go up to, it's top secret stuff. We don't want anybody to hear about it. You're going to sign this non-disclosure, and we're going to take you up to this house in the Catskills where you will be by yourself, and you will have the state-of-the-art equipment to restore these tapes. And
Catskills, that's a UO server.
Yes, it is.
This happened on Ultima Online?
It did. But he goes up there and starts restoring the tapes, which honestly, that to me was one of the most fascinating parts of the show. I was watching the process.
Sure, yeah.
Because you see it a lot. He gets into it a lot at the beginning, and then towards it's like 10 episodes, I think, and it doesn't really focus that much on it in the later episodes.
On the restoration part.
They kind of give you an insight to what his career is. It's really neat to watch.
Cool. Is this modern day, or is it like, okay.
Well, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Ish.
Okay.
Just give it a watch.
I want to now. Yeah,
it's good. And some people say you shouldn't binge through it, but I personally think the show was designed to be binged. It doesn't. It gets started immediately. It doesn't let up. Like, it doesn't really ever get boring, and it doesn't seem too like contrived or making excuses for itself. They just tell this story, and it is what it is, and I really, really liked that about it, because we got through the entire series in one day. Just Didn't get like that fatigue you get of binging a show where it's like, okay, I have overdone it. I need to back off.
The old Dave stops watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that thing. Don't try to do that in one
Melissa
day.
has no such limiter. It's our comfort show. Watch it all day long.
Yeah.
We didn't have that
can't.
burnout. We started it on like Saturday last week and watched the whole series except for the last episode because it got too late. We watched the last one Sunday, but yeah, hell of a show. Great watch. I highly recommend it.
Cool. What's it called again?
Archive 81.
Archive 81. A little derivative from Archive 80, if you ask me.
Yeah, give it a look.
Melissa and I watched Chernobyl.
Oh, that's a great show.
I've heard it's good.
I watched that
really
one when it
good.
came out.
I just remembered everybody talking about it. I downloaded it and we watched it. She was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
They put such a laser fine pointer on how utterly fucking disastrous that was and how utterly fucking inept the people that made the decisions that ultimately led to that.
Yep.
That was a really fucking great show.
It is. I highly recommend. It's only like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
5-hour-long
plenty.
episodes.
It's plenty.
I'm sorry. I'm too busy watching My Dress Up Darling. Yeah, you heard it, right?
What is that?
I've never heard of that.
It's the new hot anime.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Supposedly it's getting pretty big online. I heard about it on our Discord.
Okay.
And because I was like, hey, Nando, your avatar is different than it used to be. It's no longer Comey. And he's like, yeah, it's from this anime. I was like, all right, I like pervy anime. I'll watch this. So Nikki and I have watched, there's 3 episodes out. We've watched it. I recommend. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. People like, it's wild to me. It's going to sound crusty and curmudgeonly old man bullshit, which a little bit of it kind of is. But like hearing because I've watched some YouTube stuff about the show, because it shows up on my algorithm and I'm like, let's see what people are saying about this. And it's like, man, anime is mainstream when people are making a huge fucking deal about this. Because it's like, dude, I remember when I was 13 years old and it was just the fucking Wild West out there. Where it was just like, yeah. So I don't know. Not to say that it's still not the Wild West. I think it's just to say that
it's the Wild East.
It's just mainstream now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
I have no problem with that being mainstream.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Gates open. Come on in.
That's right.
I'll go to that part of Suncoast Mom doesn't like me to walk back to.
Right.
Speaking of animation, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know. Did you all ever watch the Clone Wars, the Star Wars cartoon?
I've seen
I
clips.
started to watch it because I was on this stupid journey to be like, I'm going to watch all the canon Star Wars things. And then I was like, oh no, I have to watch this whole show.
It went on for too long.
It went on.
And you can skip gigantic chunks of it from what I understand.
Totally makes sense.
And I've watched most of it. I kind of tapered off. I got bored.
Yeah.
It was the same episode every week. And
sure. I made it through a couple.
Yeah, it was enough to get the idea.
And I'm not saying it was bad.
No,
I could totally see it was doing. It just wasn't for me. It was written for a different audience, and it's I don't have anything against it.
Yeah.
It's just after The Force Awakens came out, and I was like, I'm on a quest. I was like, okay, I'm stopping.
I did sort of the
It's
same
like how
thing.
Majora's Mask and stop my Zelda quest.
Right? Yeah,
Exactly.
Are there water dungeons in the Clone Wars?
Well, I had done the same thing. I got on this quest of getting into the canon, and I watched 2 or 3 seasons of Clone Wars, and then it fell off. But
that's a lot of seasons.
It is because it was like 20-something episodes.
Yeah,
per season.
those are big. Yeah,
they cranked them out.
Garth Brooks. Yeah.
But I started watching. Disney Plus has a new show called The Bad Batch.
I've seen that thumbnail before, and I
Yeah.
always read it as Bad Bitch.
Bad bitch. I
every time.
haven't been able to watch Boba Fett yet because I'm waiting on Tanya to get off her ass and watch Boba Fett with
No
me.
one likes it. It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'll like it fine. I don't.
I like what I've watched, but
Yeah.
the general consensus I've heard has been like, nah, it's not so good.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I'm still gonna watch. But
I like what I've seen so far.
I just have been looking for something to watch on my own, so I picked up Bad Batch and started watching it.
Yeah.
It takes place right about the time in the first episode is when Order 66 is executed.
Okay.
And there are 5 clones that were different than all the others. They henceforth referred to as the Bad Batch.
Gotcha.
Of clones. They
Right,
had
right.
different. One of them's strong. One of them's tech savvy. They've got kind of the sort of the
we didn't make you motherfuckers to be strong and smart.
right.
The fuck's wrong with you
They
guys?
were experimental in a way to see how they could improve on the design or
Gotcha.
whatever. And these were sort of a batch of the byproduct of clones that weren't just like Rex and all the others and Jango Fett's,
Right.
actual DNA. They still are. They just been enhanced.
They just
in
spliced it
whatever
with frog
way.
DNA.
Yeah, exactly. Dino DNA.
Thank you.
But
I love hearing that.
I do too. I love saying it.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
But they when Order 66 is executed, they have just come back from completing a mission and bailing a bunch of regular clones out of, getting their asses handed to them by a separatist droid army. Right after that happens, Order 66 is executed, and they all turn and fire on their Jedi commander and kill her. But the other guys, the Bad Batch guys, don't know what the fuck is going on because apparently they.
Oh, we thought you said Order 69. Fuck.
We were off in the woods all year doing our thing.
Oops.
Well, they never got the order. They were never pre-programmed with Order 66, so they didn't know what was
Because they were
going
experimental.
on. And so they saw this as a what the fuck, this is wrong kind of moment.
Yeah.
And they escape, and then adventures ensue.
Okay, so they're
But
really the good batch, is what
The
you're saying.
good batch.
Yeah.
See, I think that's what the name is supposed to be, is a little irony.
Yeah.
But
you're
anyway,
right.
I was, despite the fact that I got burned on the Clone Wars really fast, Bad Batch was a little bit more for a mature audience. I mean, motherfuckers are getting shot and thrown off of cliffs and killed. People die at the hands of these guys. It's more of a, you could tell that they're kind of going to the same audience that watched Clone Wars, but now they're 10
now
years
that
older.
That audience is older, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you kind of like the Clone Wars or you like the prequels and that sort of thing, I'd give it a watch.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm not typically that guy.
The prequels. I don't want to open the whole fucking big can of
I was about
worms.
to ask a question about that anyway, so go ahead.
But
You can talk a little Star Wars. I'm down.
But I think the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm okay with the general principle of the prequels. I just wish they were better movies.
I totally agree with
You know
that.
what I mean? Like, even like Metachlorian stuff and all that aside.
Fine.
But I mean,
Yeah.
just like the
It's where the force comes from, Dave. Come on.
I know. Look, I've seen the movies. Clearly, I know.
Being strong in the Force means you have a bacterial infection.
Right.
That's all it is.
The midichlorian is the powerhouse of the cell.
I get it. But like, I don't know. Like, the general story is like, I like that.
It's pretty good.
I like that general story. I just wish,
George Lucas could write dialogue.
or someone could have been like, hey, excuse me. We all know this is bad, but you.
Yeah.
And no, everyone's afraid to tell you that because you're George Lucas.
you're
This
that
is your
guy.
Chris Gaines moment where no one's stopping you from doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, Star Wars A New Hope was new for everybody. It was brand new, undiscovered territory. So everybody's like, whoa, this is amazing.
Right.
Empire Strikes Back. They got a different director who was
Right.
brilliant.
And it's a
to do
much
it.
better
And it's a
movie.
motherfucker
It's a much
of a
better
movie. I
movie.
love that movie. And then Jedi is the same thing. It's
Right.
different style a little bit, but it's a different director, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Then George is like, oh, I could do this
Right.
3 more times.
Yeah.
But he couldn't. He didn't do it well. You're not wrong.
Yeah. He's like a dad. Is like the refrigerator breaks, and he's like, I'm not going to call a refrigerator repairman. I could
Yes.
do this. I forgot to mention, your dad worked at the refrigerator factory 40 years ago.
So, yes,
He designed
I
a
agree
new
with you.
refrigerator once a long time ago. People liked it.
Yeah.
But now he thinks he's the master of
Right.
refrigerators.
Yeah, like when Homer designed the car.
Yeah, the Homer.
The Homer.
He had a good idea for a refrigerator, but everyone else could build it better.
Right, yeah.
No, I did. I liked the stories that they wrote for those movies. I just thought it was poorly executed.
Yeah.
And I agree. There were scenes, there were times, there were parts that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole, you're not wrong. There were and a lot of, speaking of, like the second one, Attack of the Clones, that takes place on Camino where they built the clones.
Right.
a lot of the Bad Batch happens on Camino.
Okay, that's cool.
And they do a lot of, they kind of give you a lot more of an insight into those people.
Yeah.
The people that created the clone army and how their system works and how their sort of structure, their society works and stuff like that. It doesn't get too deep into it, but a lot of it happens on Camino because that's where they live. That's where the Bad Batch lives when they're not out doing whatever.
Okay.
Until they don't execute Order 66. And the whole thing comes around with the Empire coming in and saying, well, we're kind of over these clones. We'd rather have conscripted soldiers that volunteer to come fight and are incentivized to come fight for us.
Which does seem like a really weird decision.
It really does, because you have just made people before.
Yeah.
Now you've got to like pay
I'm
people.
gonna throw in a religious argument.
Okay,
into
please.
Into that. So, looking at again, I'm gonna take a weirdly religious bend on it.
Please.
So God had his clone army of angels that were perfect, but it's like, I kind of made them to be perfect. There's no passion. There's no, the person who chooses to love me is better than the person that I made to love me.
Okay.
So makes humanity, they have the choice.
Right.
So then that ultimately, if they choose and they're passionate, they're going to be better than just someone who's made to do it sort of blandly. So I can understand.
That's remarkably insightful. That makes a lot of sense to me.
So I can see why somebody who's going to come in there with the passion, they choose this. They choose to live their life for you. They love this so much.
And the problem is the clones themselves are like, why the fuck would they do that? We're like programmed to be these amazing soldiers.
Right.
And these guys.
And look at those guys from those movies. They're horrible.
That's right. See, they can't hit shit. But what were you going to ask about the prequels?
Are any of the Bad Batch force sensitive?
No.
So you can't clone a midichlorian?
Apparently not. I don't know that there's ever been a mention of a clone who was force sensitive. It's a good question.
What about Palpatine?
Well, he wasn't a clone.
In extended universe, the old shit.
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess.
In the before times,
if you were to clone Luke Skywalker,
would he be able to?
Would he be force sensitive? I would imagine.
It makes sense
that
if
he would be.
If it's
like whatever the thing is that makes you strong in the force, or have more midichlorians or whatever. I mean, it's my assumption that. Like
if it's something tangible you can measure with a machine,
right?
Yeah.
If it was their soul, okay, yeah, you can't clone that.
Yeah, because Qui-Gon measures Anakin with the scanner and then comes back and says he's got the highest midichlorian count I've ever seen. There's got to be something about Anakin that causes him to attract those into his system.
Right.
And so therefore you'd think by cloning him the same thing would be possible, which makes an argument for why didn't they clone Jedi and make them all be force sensitive and have an army of obedient Jedi or force sensitive people.
Because they know they'd be against that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, probably.
Because they're like, those goody two shoes. They'll never go for this.
We just clone a bunch of gray Jedi, tell them protect this.
Yeah, but
I don't
died
mean
a long time
Jedi
ago,
in the sense of the Jedi ideology. I mean Jedi
just
in the
force
sense
sensitive.
of force sensitive
Folks.
clones.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But
man, I mean, you don't want even the Sith don't want a whole bunch of fucking Sith around because they're like, God, this is gonna be a fucking huge fight. But
eventually they're gonna
that's the Star Wars I
realize-
want to see. I want to see where there were
all
Sith fucking armies and Sith artifacts.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to see.
Yeah,
That would get me into watching Star Wars shit.
I still want to see a horror movie, like a legitimate horror movie set
so
in the Star Wars
fucking good.
universe. That's all I want to see at this point.
I mean, we're getting that in the Marvel
rated R.
universe, which is close, but
I don't know that that's actually going to be that.
they said it's going to be a full-blown horror film.
I don't believe that. But
I'm skeptical too. I know.
I believe you, but I don't believe them.
Well, I'm very gullible, though. See,
and I'm not saying that either.
no,
but
you're hopeful.
I know you're not.
You're hopeful, yeah.
I am hopeful.
But regardless, you're talking about Doctor Strange, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Regardless, that looks like a fucking great. Like that trailer looked wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's like I told Nikki, I was like, that one I want to see. I don't give a shit about all the like Marvel stuff that has been released since Endgame. But that looks good. Like this looks like a good movie.
We finished Loki. I really enjoyed
Loki
Loki.
was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've done
to watch
Hawkeye
sets
was
up-
fucking good.
Yeah, I have heard.
It sets
yeah.
up Multiverse of Madness along with the
It
Spider-Man
does.
shit.
It
Yeah.
does. Which I still haven't seen Spider-Man. Don't talk about Spider-Man.
Okay.
I have managed to avoid major spoilers of Spider-Man somehow.
Wow.
I think it's probably going to come out in the next month or two. So
That's amazing. Congratulations. I don't even know that Spider-Man himself could do that with all his spider powers.
right.
Loki was one of those where it's like, I like Loki. I might watch that. And then I feel like everybody had bad things to say about it. So I was like,
I don't at all.
well, I'm not going
fucking
to.
loved it.
I'm not going to get in on that. Plus, also, I don't think I need. Like, I think it's cool that they do set up stuff for the new Doctor Strange movie, but it's not an incentive enough for me to watch.
Well, they
Knowing
did that-
your sense of humor
Yeah.
and what you like, there are certain aspects that I see other people would have thought was goofy or stupid,
Yeah.
but you will be like,
I would like-
I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
good thinking. I can appreciate
And
that.
Owen Wilson was really good in that
He
show.
was. I
but-
bought Addie or a Mobius pop vinyl.
Nice. Well, and WandaVision was kind of the same way. It's a love letter to people who love old TV, but it also goes a long way towards setting up Doctor Strange because she's going to be a major
right.
player in the Multiverse of Madness movie.
Yeah.
And then Hawkeye was good. I liked Hawkeye.
I do want to watch Hawkeye. I read some of that run that it's based on,
Yeah.
so I'd like to see how it translates.
It was like a Die Hard movie, only with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And 8 hours long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just-
it's very good.
I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff.
It is. And I'm
you know
not
what
saying,
I mean? It's just a lot. It just is overwhelming.
And
amount of
I've
stuff.
told you, I watch shit every day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pushing through something new every day.
Yeah.
Just because I'll eat my lunch and watch something
Sure.
or whatever, and that's what I do. But I get that it's not practical always to just say I'm going to watch all this shit. But all I do is watch TV. When I'm
Yeah.
not working, I'm watching TV and movies. So, you know, it is what it is. But
Yep.
but worth. Some of these things are definitely worth putting on your list for just whenever you feel like it. Because I agree with Tyler. I think you'd love Loki.
I'm sure that I would. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, and this is like, if I were living a life that allowed me to watch stuff more frequently, I'm sure that I would watch this and
Yeah.
really enjoy it. But I mean,
When we all end up getting COVID eventually,
yeah.
check out Loki when you're stuck in a
All
room for a
right.
few days.
Okay. All right. All right.
Squad goals.
Yeah. So I don't know. This happened. Honestly, this happened right around the time Henry was born. I remember having this conversation with my creative director at the time and being like, because he was on me about watching stuff. And it's like, dude, I can have one hobby right now and I have three.
Yeah, and I don't have time for fourth.
I can't.
A fourth hobby.
I can't. Yeah. So that's just, and that really hasn't changed a lot. I mean, in a few years, I'm sure Henry is not going to give a fuck about me at all. And then that opens up.
Right back to TV watching.
That's right. That's right.
I do. I said also I want to see the Sith Army stuff. I also want to see them go to Obi-Wan's home planet at some point.
I don't even know where he's
Nobody knows where he's from, at least as far as what we've been told.
He's from the planet of Stew John, named after Jon Stewart, that George Lucas canonized when he was on the Daily Show.
from. Okay. I
Nice.
forgot about that.
Damn.
I did. I forgot about that.
There is an Obi-Wan show coming out.
Yeah.
I'll
And
watch that.
And I do
I
want to
am
watch
too.
that. That I'm definitely going to carve away some time to watch that.
Well, Nikki might be into that with you, so it's
Yeah. That's kind of another thing is like, I usually don't watch something unless she's going to watch it too. And she will watch a lot.
Yeah.
So it's,
you have tested those waters. She will watch.
she will watch a lot, but she'll watch stuff on her own that it's just like, you know,
Right.
it's good stuff. I say, but I mean, it's stuff that like I hear people talk about and love. And it's just like, I'm glad that you love that. I'm really glad it exists and that people love it. But man, I just don't
Yeah.
I just don't care sometimes.
I get it.
I'm not
I
gonna
get it.
lie, I just don't care sometimes.
You don't have to. That's the beautiful part of it.
Yeah.
I beat Minerva's Den.
Hey, nice.
So it was really, really nice to play through. Oh, new Bioshock content to me.
Right,
That I know
yeah.
nothing about, that is on its own. Like, It was really, really nice.
Cool.
And I really, really liked it.
That's
At
awesome.
some point, if we ever have like an extra half an hour or whatever, I'd like to do, I'll just run it down and throw it on Patreon. Just talk about Minerva's Den by itself.
All right.
And I've got those. I haven't had a chance to get started, but I did buy those games, so I'm anxious to
It's a good play.
carve out some time to play them again. I miss Bioshock. I remember talking about Bioshock, one of my first times ever being on the show.
Oh, yeah?
Just raving about Bioshock and how much I loved it. So yeah,
Bioshock's a great game.
See, I'm going to play through Infinite again because I've only played through Infinite once.
Me too.
Play through it, and I never did the DLC for it to where you go back to Rapture, like
I
as Booker and
forgot
Elizabeth.
that. I
too.
forgot that
Damn.
even came out
Yep.
because I kind of got the way I got with Marvel stuff. Honestly, after Infinite, I liked Infinite a lot, and I played it, and then it had that ending, and I was like, "Well, that's all of the Bioshock for me."
Yeah.
And it's not because it left a bad taste in my mouth or anything. It just felt like, okay. Which is
I'm
weird
hoping
because I
4
feel
will
like
happen.
they were not trying to do that.
Yeah.
And it was like they were trying to open it up. And but something about it was just like, all right, that was a great series.
Well, do you guys want to take a
Plok.
little break and talk about Plok
Break for Plok.
afterwards?
I've been playing Mega Man 3, by the way, for the first time, and I really like it.
Nice.
go for it. Yeah, do it.
nice.
No, that's it.
Have you done
Is that it?
2,
Okay.
or did you just go? I know you beat 1 at the cabin that one time.
Yeah, and I rebeat 1 earlier. No, it was late last year. I beat 1, and I felt like way better about it because it didn't take me 8 or 9 hours, however long it took me that night.
Yeah,
It wasn't a speed run by any stretch. This latest
it
run,
was a fun run.
it was a fun one. Yeah, and then I beat Mega Man 2 a long time ago. And then this is my first time playing 3. It's the game of the month on the Tadpog Discord.
Oh.
Cool.
So I've only done one sitting, but I'm like, I just got to Wily's Castle, so I feel like if I can just do one more sitting, if I can just set aside enough time to dedicate another couple hours to it, then
Because 3 is Snake Man, Gemini Man.
yeah.
That was my first Mega Man. Was 3.
Okay, cool. It has the slide, which is throwing me off because
Yeah.
I am not used to that. But when I am used, for some reason, I keep wanting to. Because I can slide, I want to keep charging the Mega Buster. And it's like, that's 4. That doesn't come in until the next game.
Yeah.
So I feel myself holding the button down and being like, oh, right, that's right. That's not this game. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's Mega Man. Mega Man 3. Have you guys heard of this? It's a pretty good
Mega
game.
Man
You heard this? People doing this?
Yeah, it's a pretty good video game. Weird.
So man, made of snakes. He throws snakes at you. Yeah.
Magnet Man's the best.
Magnet Man. See, I just remember Snake Man and Gemini Man because those were the two my decade older cousins than me were trying to beat over and over and over again.
I like Snake Man too. I like Magnet Man 1 top slot for me, then Snake Man tied with Shadow Man. There's a lot of good stuff in
There's a
there.
lot of good shit.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I don't mind replaying that. We can talk about that sometime.
Fuck, I'm down.
Okay.
I got a thing. I can play that.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
you can play
perfect.
that. You can play that on
You want to do Mega Man 3 for next week?
on the new handhold. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, we're doing Mega Man 3 next
Mega Man
week.
3.
I gotta get my
you,
games.
Sharp Sterling.
You got snakes?
You got beat out by a fictional robot boy. All right. Well, I feel good now.
Big title coming up.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something fun. Something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
man. All right. Fuck yeah.
We get a treat.
Fuck yeah. Was Plok not a big enough treat for everybody? We'll get to
Hey,
that.
we'll get to
that.
Plok.
We'll get to that.
We'll get
We'll
to
get to
that. I
that.
have things to say.
All right. Break time. We're back. Let's talk about
Plok
Plok.
form.
In Plok form. Is that your achievement?
No, but I have some today. So
All right.
That should be one.
I don't have as many today as I did last time.
Well, I'll help offset that this time.
Excellent.
It's a perfect game for Jack's birthday, which is today.
Yay.
See,
Turns 3.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Dressed up like
birthday,
Plok and
Jack.
everything.
Oh, man. Put his arms back on.
Well, Dave, do you hear that?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't. But I can tell you a few things about Plok. Plok.
The thickest Girth Brooks Wikipedia entry of a game we've had in a minute.
Yeah, which is usually a good sign.
Yeah.
I've just decided I don't really like reading from Wikipedia because what happens is I usually get to a point where it's like, well, we're just gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
And plus, if people want to look it up, they can look it up. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
give us the nuts and bolts.
So yeah, the nuts and bolts.
Dave's nuts and bolts.
This one is, I love it. God, this podcast keeps getting better. It was developed by a British studio.
Jeez, nuts with Dave.
All right, there's the winner. Now, can we get John St. John to say that?
Tease nuts and bolts with Dave.
It was developed by Software Creations, a British studio, if you can imagine that. They also, I looked into what else they did because I was like, that name seems familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah, these are a bunch of games that I've heard of, but I've never played, except for Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety, which we'll get to that one day too. I'm kind of excited for that. I remember renting that one as a young teen and enjoying it because I was like, this is way easier than Maximum Carnage, but still kind of hard.
Yeah.
Trade West published it. This game came out in 1993. So let's all set our mindsets to 1993. It was self-funded. I thought that was very interesting. By brothers I do not know. They're the Pickford brothers, not from
Piggy Palace.
Other Pickford
Thank
brothers.
God.
They're 2 Canadian serial killers.
Or maybe they are.
You never know.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
If you ate sausage during the 80s, it was probably a dead prostitute thanks to the Pigman brothers.
We call them block links, and you'll love them.
They're made of arms. Arms and legs that were
Arms and
thrown
legs.
off.
This gentleman's name is S.T.E. Stay? Probably.
Sure.
Stay, and they decided to get less creative with this brother, John Pickford. Let's name one child that'll have a lot of trouble having his name pronounced on podcasts. And then one that's very simple. It was developed by AIM.
Not to be confused with the toothpaste you had as a kid.
What happened was I just read a note that I forgot to delete from.
That was confused with the toothpaste.
It was confused with the toothpaste.
I let Melissa listen to that, and she was like, AIM toothpaste. I was like, if you saw AIM toothpaste in somebody's house, you'd judge them for it, wouldn't you? She looked at me. Yeah, man, bro. I was a bitch like that. Yeah.
So are my friends. So yes, once again, I want to confirm this was developed by British studio Software Creations and not AIM. Not AIM. That was podcaster error. Sorry. And that's it. That's all I felt was honestly pertinent that we wouldn't end up getting to on our own.
Yeah. So based on the box art,
yeah,
what were your expectations of the game?
Well, I for one immediately knew it was going to be a platformer. But that's kind of a drop in the bucket, right? I mean,
there's a good chance if it doesn't have a footballsman on it, it's going to be a platformer.
Footballer.
Yeah.
But I did think that it was going to be a little bit more boss heavy because all the bosses are on the cover. So I got a feeling that it was going to be a little bit more of a boss rush and less of a full-time platformer. As far as like how that delivered, though, the way the game played out actually was a little different than I expected. After you get through that first level and you go through into the next levels and the objectives
the game
you have,
changes. Yeah,
the game changes, and I think for the better. So that was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, as far as looking at the art, I thought it was a cool looking box. It was a little crammed, but they had all the bosses and the bright colors, which is this game is very brightly colored and very, in your face with all that. Yeah. So, but it was all right. Yeah, I liked the box art. I thought it was cool.
I would have thought it would have been claymation.
Yeah.
Clay fibers or claymates. Like a platformer, a claymation platformer where the sprites are too big for the screen.
Okay, I think that's fair.
SNES style is exact. Like, look at this game. That's what I would have thought I was getting.
Because on the box art, it's like done in that old school like Nintendo Power style, where it's like we just made some clay models and took a photograph of it, and then manipulated those photographs to make the cover. Like, I swear to God, this looks like okay. And this is one of the bosses in the game. Imagine Dr. Robotnik from the neck down, but his head has been replaced by the Rolling Stones' lips.
Yes.
Or to me, the Dairy Queen commercial.
I didn't know which way to go, honestly. I was like, this could go either way. Plok looks like he is... Okay, and so I know we're not to this point yet, but I got like... Robot Chicken vibes from the box art.
Oh, yeah.
Because Plok looks like he is the upper torso of like a He-Man action figure.
Right.
Man, that's good.
That is good.
And then like he's got like a claymation executioner's hood.
Yeah, it is.
On as a head, and then like just not really attached arms and legs. They look like they're floating, which is very good because that's Plok.
His weapon.
That's him. And then I also knew this was a platformer, so it was kind of tough to to think of anything else. I think the box art's I think it's good. I think it's indicative of the game.
It is. It's eye-catching. It's interesting to look at.
Yeah, I've definitely seen worse box art than this and more misleading box art than this.
Yeah.
They got the fleas on here.
Which I would not have immediately thought of them as fleas.
No,
they look like something out of Pink Floyd The Wall, like something you'd expect to be. You know that thing at the end with the big ball sack.
Yes, of course.
That's what those things remind me of.
Well, I read that the music composers were heavily inspired by Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin.
Listen,
and I was about to say this is not the last time Pink Floyd is going to come up on this podcast.
Is that right?
Because dude,
I'm a huge Pink Floyd guy.
Dude,
I know a lot about Pink Floyd.
This like there are a few tracks while I was playing the game where I was like, this sounds like a Pink Floyd song, but on a Super Nintendo.
There's a whole discussion to be had about the fucking music in this game. Just fucking probably some of my favorite music I've heard in a game in a long time.
It's pretty wild.
I loved it.
It's pretty wild.
What they did with it just sounded like, man, they packed a lot of really excellent and varied tracks.
Very varied.
Yeah.
Just so different from one another. At some point, I don't know if it's allowed, but I'd love to play some of that boss fight music on the show.
No, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can totally do that.
We're reviewing it, so it's okay.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Pickford brothers, they won't sue us. They'll just fucking murder us on their farm.
And turn us into sausage. Plok links.
Plok links. Check them out. Your local grocer's freezer.
If there was a movie comparison, after playing this game, what's a movie or a celebrity you might compare this game to?
Well, I don't know that mine necessarily qualifies as a celebrity, but in the first part of this game, which is very much a standard platformer, and Plok's flag has been stolen from his house, from his flagpole outside of his house. And so he goes to this nearby island and goes through all these levels and finds the flag, but it's not his flag. One time it's a pair of underwear, and another time it's a pair of pajamas, and every time he
got
gets that
diddled
flag,
again.
He gets diddled. Yeah, at one point I had that in my notes.
Yeah.
He get on like level 3 when you find the flag. I've been diddled again.
So as angry brows.
Yeah,
Damn
but
it.
every time he finds one of those flags, he gets more and more angry that it wasn't his flag. But he keeps on trying. He keeps on persevering. He keeps on just, I'm not giving up. I'm going to succeed. I have my celebrity that reminded me of was old Gil Gunderson from The Simpsons.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So put upon.
Yeah. He's just like,
Can't catch a break,
it's
old
old
Gil.
Gil's first day as a security guard. He's dead, you know?
His first day as a flag finder.
Yes.
It's like Gil on Double Dare.
He's like, well, I'm so mad, but I'll get it this time. So that's what I thought of. Or possibly just because he's just couldn't seem to catch a fucking break. Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
Okay. All right.
I think so. I mentioned Robot Chicken earlier. It gave me Robot Chicken vibes. It also gave me, because of Plok and how he is animated, he is literally 5 sprites. Like, he's not just one sprite. He is a body, and then he has a left arm sprite, a right arm sprite, a left foot sprite, and a right foot sprite, and they're all just working in conjunction with one another.
He's proto Rayman. Rayman stole his shtick from Plok.
Yay. That's a really good observation. I like that. Yeah, it is very Rayman-esque.
But it also made it interesting to watch him walk, you know? It was
did.
just the animation was so nice, and it just felt different because
very different.
that you could tell there was 5 different segments to this guy, and it was neat. So,
And because of that, because of all this segmentation, it reminded me of the Canadians from South Park. So I got like, I went down.
Yeah,
I went
the way
down,
their heads are in half, and
yes.
yeah.
And then, like, honestly, the more I started playing this game, the more I'm like, this reminds me of South Park, because
I can see that.
like, in the backgrounds are all like basic, and I mean like early South Park. It's not like construction paper or anything like that, but I mean it's all very like basic but cartoony, and like it's
a little zany.
Yeah. And then what I finally landed on was Pacific Rim.
All right.
And the reason that I landed on Pacific Rim, I was like, okay, well, this is perfect because there are 2 brothers who developed this game, and then 2 brothers who made the music for this game. And I was just thinking, like, okay, so they're each controlling a giant robot. And then also there is a rocket punch in Pacific Rim, which is literally all you do with Plok is rocket punch.
That's true.
So I had 2 movies I couldn't really decide on.
Okay.
The first one being John Wick, because he's all happy, he's at home, and these motherfuckers took his flag.
I like that.
So he fucking goes on a murder spree.
Yes.
To get his goddamn flag back, and he gets it home, and now they've taken the rest of his flag. Fuck these motherfuckers. I'm going to kill all of them to their goddamn queen for stealing my flag.
That's the one. That's the one. I really like that one. Good shit.
Then my other is that Plok is Eric Cartman. He is angry and violent and sneaky and kind of nonsensical, and the world is goofy. Like, so my other one was South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut, with emphasis on Eric Cartman.
So I find that interesting that you both landed in the South Park
in some way.
vibes. That's good. I like that.
Well, what are some good things you have to say about the game?
Oh, I'm sorry. How was this game like Corey Feldman?
Gosh, I don't know.
It looked like you could have been on a lot of drugs when they made it.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
The game's like Corey
there we
Feldman.
go.
There's a thing.
I'll take that.
I thought, as far as going on the good things to say, I thought the level design was pretty good. It was a little confusing at times, but I'm easily confused by like platforming stuff. Like, at one point I'm going up these platforms literally that are on chains going around in a circle.
Yeah.
And I could not, it was to end the level, and I could
find the
not
flag.
find the flag.
Same. Girl, same.
Because you jump through this bamboo roof,
Yeah.
which is not possible at any other point in that level. So you don't immediately associate that with, I should be able to jump through this.
They did you the bamboozle.
They did. They bamboozled me. But aside from that, though, I did like the level design. I thought it was pretty well done.
They do want you to explore.
They do. There's a lot of it too. I thought that on that note that, they give you a little arrow. Like if you're wandering around trying to find where the rest of because in the first part of the game, when we were talking about the flags, it's just platforming. You go through the level, you kill enemies, you get flag, you move to the next level.
Right.
Then you fight a boss, you go back home. All of the flags are gone now. So now what you're doing when you go into the level, it took me a minute to understand this.
Game changes a lot.
But I liked that it was a change from the norm, whereas instead of just running through a straight level and killing bosses, what you have to do is find the fleas. There's a number of fleas in the subsequent levels.
Right.
You kill so many of those to get them all gone and then exit the level.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat mechanic.
It is neat.
And I like that because the levels are not necessarily linear, there's up and down and left and right. There's all kinds of areas to explore. If you've gotten every flea in that you can reach that's obvious, it'll show you a little arrow that points down and to the right saying, you need to make your way down there somehow.
Right.
And the last flea will release the flag that'll then...
Right.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you a little bit when it realizes this guy's been fucking around and he's lost. He doesn't know what to do. So I thought that was kind of a neat
I do like that
thing. And then I just thought that it was really cool that he throws his arms and feet as you get 4 shots. Arm, foot, and then you're a torso, and then they come back to you. And in some parts of the game, you have to activate platforms by hitting targets, which when you do, there's a little hanger up hanging. And when you hit the target with like your arm goes onto the hanger. So you got to, in some cases, you can immediately jump into the hanger and get it back and go up the platform and go. In some cases, you're literally one leg. You have one leg, and you don't retrieve your arms and your other leg until you make it through that part of the level. And I thought that was...
Or get really creative, because there's some points you're kind of supposed to maneuver and get them back, and I would mess up and get through these puzzles and have nothing left, and I can't go back.
Well, and there was one time that happened to me, but I managed to get one of the present boxes.
And that restores.
And it puts on a different outfit, so in one you're like a firefighter and you've got like a scatter gun. I think it's a firefighter. I don't know.
Yeah, you've got like the, what do they call the double hat? Is it
You're the Jumanji big game hunter with the muzzle that's just like
the Elmer Fudd style.
Yeah, you got the blunderbuss.
That's it.
Shotgun kind of style.
But when you get, so it's a present. It's a wrapped present.
Right.
When you step on it, it turns you into whatever, this other outfit with another gun. It only lasts for a little while, but if you hit that while you are limbless, and then when it wears off, you've got all your arms and legs back. And that is critical.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't, at that one point I'm thinking of, if you don't get that present, there's no way to continue forward without that, because you can't get past it without a weapon. So I thought that was a creative thing.
It is.
That works. I've never seen anything like that.
I think this game is very creative.
It is.
I think that is probably its like biggest accolade. The biggest accolade I could give this game is it is very creative.
But those are my and of course then the music.
I
just can't get enough of that music. I loved it.
And I wanted to save this for the music, but you were just talking about the gift power-ups where you put on different costumes. Every gift costume has its own theme song,
which is crazy to me.
That's great. I love that. Like that just is just like, this is the amount that we give a shit about this game, is that we're gonna have these two brothers. They're gonna write music for all the different power ups that you can get, and it's it's like, imagine like when Mario gets the star and the invincibility theme plays. It's like that, but imagine if the music changed when Mario got the flower.
Right.
Or, I mean, it's just like
nuts.
It's wild.
And you go through, and on YouTube there's a playlist that someone put out there of all the tracks from Plok, and there's like 13 or 14 different tracks, and that doesn't include the other music that they play for the different outfit. It's crazy. Because that much, they put a lot. They wanted this game to have a soundtrack. They wanted this game to be, and it's memorable.
Been released on vinyl after the fact, and it is like, there's a playlist on YouTube that I watched that did include the costumes, but when I searched, there were several, and like the one I listened to was like, I think it was like 58 minutes long. Like I just listened to it for an hour at work while I was just working on projects, and it was like, yeah, this is a soundtrack.
It is, and they did such a good job of having each song be distinguished for what the level was, like the cowboy music or the I don't know, just if there was like there's a jazz, and then there's sort of a western, and then there's sort of a hard rock, and they touch on all these different genres, and all the songs are just catchy and well done. It's just crazy.
I know you mentioned the boss music, and I absolutely want to play the boss music.
Yes.
I don't know if now is the appropriate time to do it. Music was on my list as well.
Yep, mine too.
And what I think, like, there's some wild trivia about the music. This is a rumor, but apparently when Miyamoto heard the game for the first time, he thought that it was on a modified Super Nintendo, like a modified
how
audio
did they
chip.
make this happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And like a good example of that is, and look, I think the music is very good. That doesn't mean I liked all the tracks.
Right.
Like
some of them are better than others,
right.
Obviously.
And it's like, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to like lean into like this cartoon angle, because like a lot of the tracks are kind of, it's just like this, like
very Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes. And I don't think that is a coincidence.
No, because Rare got involved with them later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, I do not think that we would have gotten Donkey Kong Country the way that we got it if it were not for Plok. And that is not a joke. That is
I can see that.
Because like when I look at all
a very Donkey Kong Country-esque sort of game. I get that.
And what got me there was the second bit of trivia I have is that David Wise, who is the star of one of my favorite Donkey Kong Country memes ever, where it's like, David, we need you to compose some music for a video game about two monkeys. Nothing too crazy. And then the next panel is a man on the beach with a piano on fire. I love that fucking meme.
There's a whole TikTok series of guys.
Why did you go too hard on this? This pause music for GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, those are good.
So like he has on the record stated that the music that the Fallen Brothers did for Plok was inspirational to him. So it's like, because he said that, I was like, wow, I can see that, because the music, David Wise's music in Donkey Kong Country that is a fucking amazing soundtrack. It really is.
You're not wrong.
And as much as I like the Plok soundtrack, I like the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack a whole lot more.
But I can see why there's a huge difference. I'm speaking mainly from my utter shock.
Word, girl, same. Yeah, word, totally. No, because I wasn't expecting Plok to have music
for a
like
self-published game.
Yeah,
and not one that had fucking Nintendo behind it. So,
right. Yeah. But so because of the David Wise thing, I was like, oh man, yeah, that makes sense, because Rare was a British studio, and this is from a British studio. And I was like, you know what? Also, like, the way you fight bosses in this game is a lot like how you fight bosses in Donkey Kong Country. Bosses have their own level, and it is a level where you can move left to right. You've got a stage that you can move, and then there's one big enemy, or several big enemies that you have to take down. And it's done in a way where it's like, I know what I just described is like every boss fight in every video game. It's kind of one of those where I feel like you have to see it to really understand what I'm talking about. But it's like, it's just the ground. It's just the ground and a boss. There's no like platforms or anything for you to like jump on or maneuver. And I feel like that's very Donkey Kong Country style. Also, another thing that I know this game didn't invent, but like a big part of this game is collecting 4 letters.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of Donkey Kong Country too.
Yeah, K-O-N-G.
Instead of collecting Kong, which gives you an extra life, and Donkey Kong Country, you're collecting Plok, P-L-O-K, which gives you a Plok-tinu, which is really just a way of
it's
a checkpoint.
It's where
system.
you come back when you die. Yeah, after that, there's no passwords or saves. But when you earn the Plok, that is your save point. You continue if you die, you come back there with no shells or coins, as you know, shells or coins,
right?
And 3 lives from that point. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
the way
I think it's interesting, and I really would like to see like. I know this sounds silly, but like I would love to see what Donkey Kong Country would have been had Plok not existed, because it's like
it's like seeing the Back to the Future with that other guy instead of Michael J. Fox.
Right. yeah, exactly. So
because they said he was way too serious and way too dramatic. So if you can only imagine how much different Back to the Future would have been.
Yep.
Let's see what I had, like the music. I had just how insane it is. I think it's nigh Earthworm Jim-ish.
And
how it's the levels, and especially later on when you get to like the Flea's home turf where it's like tentacly and holes and all sorts of shit. The controls were super tight. I feel like I haven't
really good controls.
Played a good solid platformer in a long time where the controls were Mario-esque. They were super tight.
SNES Drunk talked about that and said it was nice that you have a super jump where you turn into sort of a ball of fire, but unfortunately that does no damage. I found out to the enemies, which is kind of that was on my bad list.
You think that it would, because it looks like
you're on fire. Yeah,
like it was very much like they played Metroid,
but
because like that's what the somersault jump looks like.
It gives you that extra high jump boost plus. You can control the jump in midair, so you can move yourself around. That's one of the things SNES Drunk pointed out, which I was glad for. I agree with you there, Tyler, that the controls were really good in this game. I felt no sluggishness, like I was always sure that where I was going was where I was going to go and not going to throw me back or step off a cliff too easily. They give you that bit of control that feels good. So
Let's see, I had like all up throwing the limbs, the puzzles on the hangers, and my favorite part of this game was the feel of the old silent movie sepia tone old world where you're Plok granddaddy, Plok with a big mustache, and you go back in time and you're playing in his land. It's all sepia tone, and between the levels, it looks like an old film reel that's blinking,
like an old silent film.
Yeah, fucking love those levels.
Style.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I got an email from Netflix today that was like, "Yo, Cuphead, the Cuphead series, February. Don't forget." And I'm like, "Oh right, I had forgotten."
I watched the trailer.
And I watched the trailer, and I'm like, "Oh, this was the thing I wasn't sure I wanted to watch, but
now
I definitely want to watch this."
Tanya actually pointed that out. She's like, "You like that game Cuphead, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And she shows me this trailer, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" This looks so good.
Yeah, it does. I was surprised.
Pumped for this, and it's like got all the same animation, the same bosses, the same everything.
No, it looks this looks pretty good.
Yes, glad you brought that up. I'm gonna go into the couple of bad things that I had.
Yeah, I'm done with all my good stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I thought it was too hard. And I think SNES Drunk said that too. He said it's just really hard. I played it on the child's play mode. I started on normal, and it was not doable for me. Child's play was harder than I thought it should be. I think, and again, I'm pulling heavy from SNES Drunk, where enemies pop out like
logs, especially
at the last second.
What the fuck with these logs?
I know, right?
They're just
I have a Cat Mario-esque logs in my notes.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, they're just like come out of fucking nowhere.
Just nowhere.
There's no trees around, but there's logs falling.
And even four will go. You'll jump over. I'm thinking you're fine.
Nope.
One last one pops up from the screen.
Very quick. Like you have to memorize where they're gonna fucking come from.
Exactly. And there's a lot of memorization.
There is.
The monsters that hide under the signs.
Yeah, the big moe heads.
Yeah, they don't come out of the ground until you're practically right on top of them.
They spit a coconut at you.
Even if they do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And even if you know they're there, it's hard to, because his range is so limited.
Yep.
With his standard, limb weapons or whatever, you really got to I got to the point where I was just jumping over them, avoiding them, not trying to fight.
Speed run.
Yeah, speed run style. I thought that, again, pulling from SNES Drunk, he pointed out all the things that I hated about this game, which wasn't a lot, to be fair. But like there's certain points where there's platforms that you have to jump on, and the platform will shoot up in the air and then curve around to the right and then end on a pile of spikes that you did not know was there until you just have to memorize them. And then you have to remember next time to jump off at the right time. And those were some of the level design things that I was not a fan of.
Yeah, too many gotchas and leaps of faith. And
it's
shit like that.
It's not fun to sight read.
Not at all.
This isn't one of those games, which sucks because I think games that are the most fun are the ones where it's like, oh, I feel like I had a chance to overcome that obstacle, but I didn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't. So it doesn't feel fair. It also feels punishing. Like not only is it difficult, it is punishing.
It is
because I read the instruction manual and I was under the impression where it's like if you spell out Plok, if you collect those 4 letters, wherever you are when you collect that is where you will start back from if you die. But what I actually experienced was I continued once and then the game started over after I died the second round. And it was like, this fucking
so the
sucks.
Plok continue was only good for one use, apparently.
Unless I did something wrong. I literally was like, did I do something wrong? Because I thought the instruction manual said that I could even hit the reset button and start back from this zone. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got all the way through like the fucking end of Grandpappy's world, the grayscaled world that you were talking about, where you fight 3 fucking huge bosses at the same time. 3 of those Robotnik Rolling Stone lips. And it's like
a fun new sentence.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Things I never thought I would say. Chapter 4. This is on my list of things I don't like about the game. The boss fights. You have these interesting bosses that the fights aren't designed. It's like you fight these fucking 3 Rolling Stone lips, and what do? They fucking just jump at you.
Jump around.
It's insanity.
They just jump at you. And it's like
jump and throw boomerang rocks.
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video after they fucking bulldozed through like 4 of my lives, and then I was like, oh, I guess it won't let me continue from where I spelled out Plok. Okay. So like I watched a video after that. I was like, how are you supposed to beat these things? And it's like, oh, you just do what I do. You just run back and forth. You just gotta. It feels like luck.
You got to kite them and hope.
Kite them, yeah. And that's what I was trying to do. But I mean, it was like I get stuck in a corner, and then they start spitting out boomerangs or something. I don't know what they're spitting out, like in this arc.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry to butt in with shit that I don't like.
Do it. That's all I had anyway.
But man, those boss fights were just like, and on top of that, it's like the second world. Those were like at the end of this. I guess technically the third world maybe, but they're like the same bosses as the one you just fought, except there's one extra one. And I do think it's funny that in the fiction of this game, Grandpappy probably killed one for good. I think and that's why later in the present you only fight 2. I think that's very cool. But what I don't think is cool is doing that same fucking fight that really wasn't fun to begin with a second time that is even less fun because they threw one more of these motherfuckers in.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If they were more lenient with the continues, then all of a sudden I don't have a problem with it. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well that's not a big deal. I'll just try this again until I get it. But when it's like, oh, I guess I'll try the entire game again until I get to this point in which I probably am not going to beat these bosses again.
That is horseshit.
And I'm going to have to probably... How many times am I going to have to do this before I get past?
How many times will I do this?
Right.
You know, twice, I'm good. you know?
Right.
Yeah, because if you have to do that much work to get back to the point where you had the problem to begin with, you don't...
Right.
It's not enough.
And this was I was playing on original hardware, and this was one of the times where I'm like, you know what? I wish I had a save state. That I could just set a save state right before this boss and then like just keep loading that save state until that boss is defeated.
I had a save state.
So, yeah.
I used that a lot.
That's
Yeah.
what I had to do.
I mean, and
It's unreasonable to think that if that's available, that it's not unreasonable to use.
No,
on
absolutely
this one,
not.
for
Especially
sure.
pending what your experience. That is horseshit. And then there's no passwords. There's no saving. Like
right, yeah, there's no
that's,
battery.
That's the worst
yeah.
thing about the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and it's like, it sucks that it's like paired up with the difficulty and just how punishing it is. Because it's like, come on. I get it. It's 1993. Video games are hard. Okay. But like, come on. It's not fun.
NES games had passwords to get you back to where you were. Like,
I have some trivia that makes me not like this game a little bit more. Do you guys know why there's not a password system?
why?
Because of all the music.
No, because the Pickford brothers were like, if we put passwords in this, they're just going to be distributed by gaming media.
Oh, God. That's a terrible way of looking at it.
It is.
What do you care?
I agree.
If they buy the game, what the fuck do you care?
And I have
Yeah.
I have a proposed, I think this is why. This game is originally based on an arcade game that they were developing.
So they were thinking about taking quarters. They were still in the quarter munching mentality.
I think they were definitely in the quarter
okay.
munching mentality. And I also think that they were, maybe it was some of that, well, this is art. We want people to experience
We
this
love
game.
this game so much. We
Right.
want them to be invested in it and
Right.
not make it easy.
Right. But
Nah,
that's
bullshit.
that
People
is-
enjoy things different ways.
right. Exactly. And it's also where it's like, I think it's awesome that like you guys use save states because like this is literally, I was playing this last night and I was like, fuck, I wish I had, then there is firmware that I can install to enable save states, but it's like, fuck, I really wish I had save states so that I could continue enjoying this game as opposed to resenting it for not letting me have fun with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if it's that much of a big problem, let the true believers, let the hardcore gamers put an option in there to say, you want to play with passwords?
sure.
No. Okay.
Have easy mode give you passwords, and
Yeah.
then regular and hard mode is like that.
Yeah, but I just think they should have passwords. to begin
Agree.
with.
I agree.
But I could see the argument there being, well, if there's a password system, you figure out how those passwords work, and all of a sudden you can give yourselves a whole bunch of shit that you know what I mean?
But
Like,
but again, that's your choice as
They
the
might beat
consumer.
the game.
right, right, yeah, and I agree. That does put it on the player where it's like you can do this if you want to. It seems silly to me that it's like, no, you must play this game this way.
It's awfully controlling.
It is,
Yeah.
Imperialistic almost.
Very.
There were two, like, I got about halfway through the game. I beat the spider, and then I just kind of ran out of time.
Wow, you
So-
got farther than
Way
I
I
did.
did.
than
I
I
really,
did.
I really enjoyed this game.
I
Yeah.
did too. I did too. And that goes towards the expectations. Did it deliver? Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
I
yeah, it did.
enjoyed I would keep playing
Dude.
this game and for me, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I hit two levels that I thought were just so stupidly obtuse that I had to just pull up walkthroughs, just like, what the fuck am I supposed
I had to
do?
do that a couple times to see where the fuck am I going.
Like that bamboo
Yeah.
thatch level. I didn't know what was going on. Do I have to kill these beehives?
Right.
What am I doing? And then another one where did I get lost? Like it's so big, and there are these like two different directions that are almost identical, but you have to climb the trees, and it gets really weird. And there were several points where like there's like a hidden flea somewhere. I'll clear out the whole level. I've
Right.
barely survived, and then I kill myself going back
Yep.
through trying to find that
Yep.
one hidden
Yep.
weird flea I
Yep.
missed. That I'm not too crazy about that. One thing, I think this game would have been so much more fun if you could have thrown your arms in 8 different directions.
Agreed.
So just having to just throw them right in front of you, where I couldn't hit those beehives. You can't hit the enemies that are jumping all over the place. Like,
or even if you had been given the option to fire your weapon while you're super jumping.
yeah,
Like a lot of times the enemy would be out of reach, but if you super jump, when you're in mid jump, all you can do is move around. You cannot fire your weapon.
Yeah.
So you can't take out an enemy that's up there, until you're up there. And then you have to put yourself at risk versus possibly being able to jump up and hit it. So,
and I think a lot of their decisions were made because do you remember minutes ago where I was like, this was an arcade game that they were working on?
Yeah.
That was they were calling that Flea Pit. And that's when they like designed a lot of these characters like the Fleas and Plok himself. And then that fell through. And then what happened was they're like, oh, we'll make this a console game. It's going to come out on the NES. And then I feel like that dictated a lot of decisions like colors. Because it's like, I do think the graphics in this game are fine, but I do think that they're colorful, like extremely colorful, but they're also very basic feeling.
Yeah.
And like when I read that it's like, oh, this was originally supposed to be an NES game, it kind of clicked where it's like, oh, I see. They probably, just adapted what they had designed for the NES and didn't really.
They didn't want to retool the whole thing.
Right.
They just sort of built on what they already had.
Sure. And then like adjusted the colors because they got a wider palette and stuff like that. So, but you saying that you wish you could shoot in 8 different directions made me think, was that maybe
that was the NES feature?
Was that maybe how many of the design decisions that went into this Super Nintendo game dictated by like the spec of an NES?
Yeah.
Yep. Like I said, like the no saves and the Cat Mario-esque gotchas were just
it's too much.
Yeah, only bad stuff.
And every now and then, I'm not trying to dunk on Donkey Kong Country, but that's another
it's not
thing.
Donkey Kong Country.
Fuck God, I love you so much. But like that is a thing Donkey Kong Country does. Donkey Kong Country has gotchas in it.
It does.
Not as many as Plok, but I mean, it definitely has some Cat Mario moments in it. Even me who loves the game, when I just recently played through it, there were like 2 times where I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah. And you're talking directly to the developers when you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got all the costumes I can run down real quick. So there's the cowboy costume.
Right.
The sort of the Rocket Man, where you can fire rockets in like all like the cardinal directions.
I didn't get either of those, unfortunately. I didn't get that
either.
far.
That's the only way I could ever destroy those beehives in other levels.
Okay.
There's the muzzleloader hunter.
I did get that one.
Yeah.
There's the god tier flamethrower, which just fucking roasts
the Plokinator.
Plokinator,
I believe is his name in the instruction manual.
And then there's the boxer, which plays a Rocky-esque theme whenever you get it.
Which is fucking
Plocky
in the instruction manual. Plocky.
That music was awesome.
Yeah, it's
oh my God,
it's very much a Kmart Rocky theme.
Much.
Yeah.
I loved it.
But it's still good.
It was
I agree.
Wonderfully corny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That is a good way, honestly, truly, in my opinion, Ian, that is a great way of summing up the general humor of this game. Is just like it's
great, wonderfully corny.
It's wonderfully corny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not legitimately funny, but it's wonderfully corny.
Yeah. There are vehicles that you can get, like a helicopter, a UFO, a tank, a rocket, sort of a squirt unicycle, a squirt gun and a unicycle, spring shoes with you have like some sort of a spray gun when you're on that. That's you fight the final boss in that.
Okay.
And then a Jeep, and then a motorcycle, which I saw like there are warp stages you can go to, and there are timed levels where you're in a vehicle and you have to get quickly to the other end, and should you do it, you warp to another part of the island and skip levels.
It's a huge game.
Yeah.
Just a big old fucking game.
Yeah.
And I like that. BOFG. I loved it. I love that it's that big. I got nowhere near any of the stuff you just described.
No, me neither.
But the fact
I
that
only saw it because I watched a 2-hour long play at work while I was doing office stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that just speaks to me. That speaks more
because there's one of those
in its
warps
favor.
where you skip that first boss fight. There's like the berries that you hit and they get bigger. Some of them have like a special trigger that will then take you to a warp level to where you then race, so you can skip that first boss fight and go to like right back to Plok's home on that level where you're trying to get that flag.
Nice.
This is again, like with it being a BOFG, like you gotta have a battery backup. You gotta have or a password.
Yeah.
You gotta, because I mean, it's just
you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna lose interest.
Yeah,
because I am not going through all that shit again to get back here.
Me neither. But I would pick it back up.
Sure.
Like seriously, like if I could go back tonight and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try to beat those 3 fucking bullshit bosses at the same time. I would try it if I could just pick it up and be like, all right, yeah, I'm right there at that point.
I'm going to save state. And I mean, again, that's this kind of game. The save state option on retro hardware type stuff saves this game from being what it was to you, which was, fuck that, I'm not going back through that shit again.
Yeah.
So that you could, as you said, keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
I can move forward and not worry that I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
As long as you save state correctly, and unlike me, where I stupidly save stated with like 2 bars of health at one point, and I had to do it like 8 times to get through because I kept hitting something. Right
now, I have to do it perfectly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Even if it was like, and I don't mind like, I don't mind a compromise even where it's like, okay, you die at the boss, start the world over.
I'm
what I mean?
with that.
Start the world over. Get through the 6 levels leading up to the boss again. You know, it's like I'm fine with that. But when it is like
whole game,
start the game over. It's like fuck that. This is long. And also, like I said, I must have done something wrong because I swear the instruction manual is like, yeah, you can even hit the reset button. I even saw that and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Nope.
Fool me once, X-Men.
Yeah, no shit. Turn the computer off. What's that mean?
So, where all do you feel like this game really delivered? And where did it lose its way?
I mean,
we probably kind of covered both
a lot of
Yeah.
that. Really, it's just I thought it was fun. I thought the controls were tight. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I felt like it did deliver. It just had, once again, my favorite word is a few bugaboos that I think they could have done differently, and I think their pride got in the way. In a lot, like you said, where they don't want you to, they don't want the passwords distributed by gaming magazine.
Yeah, they would rather you experience the game they meant for you to experience than for you to have fun.
Which I could, knocking off the end of
that's some bad DM bullshit.
I could say I understand the logic behind wanting the player to experience it a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But not at the expense of having to fucking grind through the same shit over and over, and maybe I'll get a little farther this time. Right. That's just not effective.
And to be fair, I know like what I said earlier, it's like I need to remember this is a game from 1993, and I am looking at this game through the 2022 lens. Mm-hmm. And so of course that's the thing that's going to be glaring to me, but even I don't know. I'm not reviewing this game in 1993. Right. I guess would be my argument. I'm reviewing this game like, what's this like to play it now? And I don't know. It still exceeded my expectations.
Absolutely.
And I think this is where it found its way.
I'm that cat.
You're vibing.
A little rock, a little bit Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, a theremin.
Yeah, a little theremin.
And it's like, okay, so I'm listening to this. I'm like, okay, all right, this is pretty good. All right, I can dig this. And then this happens. And it's like
it goes Earthbound versus Pokey whenever you're
dropping that bass.
It's like this is 1993. This is like the second Matrix. Like what? Yeah. Like what is going on here?
It's just good.
It's awesome.
Throw your arms at the bad guy.
And then it crescendo.
It's wild.
Jump. Throw your arms.
It's fucking insane. I love it.
It's so good.
And then there's another song that I won't play because it's so long and it really but it's good. It's good, but it's too long, I feel like, to play on the show. Mm-hmm. The track is acrylic. which is the name of the island that Plok lives on. I guess is acrylic.
He's the king of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed, I believe.
Yes.
And Cartman style.
Yep.
Tying back to what you said earlier, Tyler. But it is like, that's the track where I was like, this is the most fucking prog rock track I have ever heard in a video game ever. And I loved it. I mean, it was fantastic. That's when I was like, when you mentioned Pink Floyd earlier, I was like, man, I'm so glad that you got those vibes, because like I got those vibes.
For sure. Yeah.
And I loved those vibes.
Me too.
So where does this belong on TADPOG's SNES list?
If there was a platformer that was in the top 100 for the list,
To knock off the IGN's list?
to knock off that we kind of universally would agree this sucked, why is it on this list?
Mm-hmm.
This one would go in its place for me.
Okay.
As far as the TADPOG list goes, I don't know if it would make the top 100, but I think it would be pretty close. I think it would be somewhere in very close to that if it didn't make it. Because I did like the fact that it's just a big old game with a lot of interesting aspects, and it's got replayability, especially if you can save state. So yeah, I would say probably if it's not in there, it's close.
Yeah. Dave?
Hey, it's not in the top 100 for me, but I agree with close. It's definitely, I think, in the better half.
It's an
of
honorable mention.
the Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I would give it an honorable mention just for the music. Like, if we're like, seriously, if we're like rating Super Nintendo games based on their music, then this is in the top 100 for me. And I mentioned earlier where it's like not all of the tracks are bangers, but like even like the title track where it's like, it's going back to what you were saying. What was it? Delightfully corny.
Wonderfully corny.
Wonderfully corny. It like opens with Plok fucking playing a harmonica. He just pulls a harmonica out and play it to essentially, and I mean this with all the most respect, a knockoff version of Tequila. Which brings me to this game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Corey Feldman, because of the tequila scene where Splinter gets pizza on his head.
Okay.
But it's like this 2-chord guitar thing that very much sounds like Tequila, and then he pulls out that harmonica and starts playing it. And the rumor is that's the track that Miyamoto heard and was like, there's no way this is coming out of
a regular
stock Super Nintendo.
Yeah. There's a TikTok channel where all he does is take the heroic moments from like movies and TV shows and sets them to that and a hero will save us.
You sent me one of those.
The Ninja Turtles one where it's Splinter catching Shredder and throwing him off.
Yeah. It's weird because like that was a moment I had when I was watching, and like because Nikki was watching with me, and I was like, you know what? I know this is made to be funny, but like, I like this. It was like, oh, I'm definitely not cool at all, because I'm not finding the humor in this video. I'm just enjoying it.
No, he does a lot of them that I enjoy. Like he's done a shit ton. So for me, it's absolutely a top 100 game.
Yeah.
I would take out my problem with the glitch in Sparkster. Up until that point, I enjoyed Sparkster, and that ruined it for me. So take that out and take just the enjoyment I had over Sparkster. I think Plok is better than Sparkster. Take aside that glitch, and I think it's in my top 100.
Wow.
Good.
You guys have any achievements?
I have a few.
What you got?
Let me bring up my trusty notes. My first achievement is what the Plok. And to get that, you take the low road on level 3 that's at the bottom, because it tells you to follow an arrow.
Oh, yeah.
You go across all the way across, and it's a dead end, and you have to work your way all the way back across and up. What the Plok. My second achievement is Amputastic. And to get Amputastic, you throw all your limbs at a flea while on a slope and then slide off the slope your torso slides off the slope.
Because you can push down and your torso just sort of slides.
Yeah. When you don't have arms and legs, your torso just sort of does what the ground you're standing on does. Threw all my arms and legs and fell off a slope just because my body went boop. So there was that.
I love it.
Flea flicker. To get flea flicker, you use your hornet buddy, which is a thing. You've got a hornet buddy, and you press the button, and he flies around you almost like one of Link's little fairies does.
Forgot about that guy. Yeah.
And
I thought I was drunk. I thought Plok was drunk because it kind of was
he
like,
has that little drunky thing going on about him.
Because it's spinning around, and I was like, "What's wrong with Plok? Is he drunk?" I honestly thought it was like some kind of debuff or something, and then I was like, "Oh, it's a
thing.
It's a
like
hornet.
a shield. Not
He's
quite.
straight pissed.
Yeah.
But
Plok is pissed.
You don't like my Ioun stone?
to get that,
The angry hornet Ioun Stone.
you use your hornet buddy to kill a flea that is trying to jump away from you.
Nice.
And my final achievement is stop trying to make Plok-tinu happen. It's not going to happen. And to get that, you get a continue point, a Plok-tinu, in the middle of a complicated jump that freezes you and causes you to fail what you were doing. So when you get your extra life or you get a Plok-tinu, everything freezes and it plays this fanfare and says Plok-tinu. And if that's right in the middle of a jump across a ledge or something, you could easily just drop like a stone when it comes back because you maybe let go of the button or something. So
I love it for the Mean Girls reference, for sure. And it reminded me of are you familiar with the Yeti? The Yeti is like a online t-shirt shop essentially, and they have like usually
the
Yeti, yeah. They typically have 2 t-shirts per day, and they send out an email. And if you don't buy it that day, you don't get it essentially.
Okay.
They had a shirt I fucking agonized over whether or not to get because I fucking loved it so fucking much. It was the Venn diagram where it's like, oh my God. It was Fran and Balthier from Final Fantasy 12 drawn in a car. And below it says, get in the car, loser. We're going shoplifting. And the shirt was pink and it was on sale. Guess what day?
April Fool's Day?
Wednesday. Because on Wednesday we wear pink. And it was like, because it was like, oh my fucking God, you guys are fucking geniuses.
That is great.
If that was a coincidence, then you really fucking lucked out.
Yeah.
I sent Nikki a message. I was like, oh my God, I fucking want this shirt. But like, I've owned like that color shirt before. It's the worst. Like Barbecue on the River did that color pink shirt.
I know the one.
And it was just like,
about.
I don't look good at this.
I don't want to wear a pink shirt.
I am too not the right color to wear this shirt, which is honestly the fucking truth. It looked horrible.
God, I remember. I know the shirt you speak of. That was a terrible one.
It was
color,
real bad.
That's all of my achievements.
I've got a couple. The first achievement I've got is New Kids on the Plok.
Hey,
yeah,
I like it.
In order to unlock New Kids on the Plok, finish the game on Child's Play difficulty.
Haha.
And I tried to do something with the blockchain, but that didn't work out. So I don't know. Fucking collect shells and believe in them or something. I don't know. And then the last achievement I have is I hope we never part. Now get it right or pay the price. In order to unlock it. It's I hope we never part. Now get it right or pay the price. You raise underwear up the flagpole. In one of the early levels.
Nice.
You also raise up Mario's overalls at one point.
Yeah.
And then
Plok is in some Mario comic. He makes an appearance where he's racing with Mario.
What?
I looked for other references to Plok.
Oh my
so
God.
he does have a brief Mario crossover.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Plok for Smash.
Fuck yeah.
That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Cool.
He's got 4 real powerful attacks, and then he's vulnerable until
his special is a goof. It's just his torso.
Well, and one of the things about it too is if you hit an enemy, with your arm, it comes right back, bounces right back.
Right.
If you fire it off just on its own, they might come back eventually.
Right.
Yeah, you run away and it floats slowly back to you. I've got 3 achievements. First one is Happy Happy Iron Man. And that's You just get Plok's flag back after the first level.
Okay.
Because he looks like the happy villagers from Earthbound, because they're purple and have the hoods and all
right.
that. But he's colored like Iron Man.
Colored like Iron
Yeah,
Man.
you're right.
Like comic book Iron Man.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
My other is, let's see, Topsy Turvy Torso. You unlock that by beating a level as just a torso.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And my last one
Tough one.
is
Yeah.
the Red Hot Mars Chili Volta. you unlock that by killing
Wow.
2 fleas.
Oh, that was
My
a good one.
Music reference for 2022.
That was
Nice.
like a bunch of music
Very
references in
good.
one. That was really great.
I have a question. Picture yourself as a 11-year-old child again.
Done. Oh, it's great, isn't it? Oh, fuck, isn't life awesome? Gee, oh, man, I got that big math test tomorrow.
Sort of. I
that's
was still
it.
live with my dad when I was 11.
And summer, I can actually do stuff.
Oh, man, yeah, summer means something.
Yeah. So would you rent this game or would you buy this game? If you had the money, you had a choice. I don't know between this and what, but would this be a good rental or would this be a good buy?
I'd buy it.
I don't think it's a good rental because of the continue system.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
it's a buy and put in your
I would-
time
yep.
over a summer.
I agree.
Yep.
I feel the same way.
I would buy it. I honestly
And it would be a
do feel
good
like-
one to have in the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could kind of, you could take a summer and fucking just play Plok from off and on and get through. It's that kind of, it's perfect for that.
Yep.
You guys want to know what Flopsy has to say?
I would love to know what Flopsy has to say.
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses on what the star review might be?
I think it might be 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. 4 stars.
4 stars.
4 stars, uncommon.
Uncommon.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Uncommon. I'm gonna go very uncommon.
4 stars, very uncommon.
Yeah.
All right. According to Flopsy, aka the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998, by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike, Plok is a 3.5-star game,
Close.
and is uncommon.
All right.
I should have asked this prior. Tyler probably knows. How much do you think this game is worth?
$25.
25 bucks?
$38.
38 bucks?
Yes.
Actual retail value of Plok for the Super Nintendo loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, is $23.99.
pretty close.
Very, very,
Oh.
very close. I think that's it. We totally don't do beards or glasses or anything, right?
Not anymore.
No, that's not a thing anymore.
Tyler, if you were to give this game a beard, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard would you give it?
I would give it Car Painter's Beard from the Happy Village. 'Cause He's also a narcissist who wants to control everything around it, but not let anybody else in.
All right, and he would never put passwords in his game.
Nope, fuck no. No Franklin badges.
Tyler, if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would you give it?
The eyeglasses in the Mach 1 Iron Man suit that had a lot of potential, just unrealized at that point.
Okay.
So I think a Plok sequel would have been really fucking good to iron out some of these bugs and design it for the Super Nintendo.
Absolutely.
They were
Yeah.
supposed to make a sequel.
Really?
I think there's a Plok comic that like a plastic, paper bound, like nice Plok comic that came out. And if they sold 1 million copies, they could finance and self-publish Plok 2, which I don't think, still, they didn't sell that many.
No, and it only came out on the Super Nintendo as well. I may not be 100% correct about this, but I think they were planning on doing like a Genesis port, but then like the game didn't sell well, so it just kind of like stopped any progression on anything Plok. And I know that like there's a quote saying that they felt like the game didn't sell well because of like the saturation and the mascot platformer market and all that.
I mean, it was.
And also, I mean, I never saw a fucking ad for Plok when I was a
Nope,
kid. Are you
not
Never
once.
heard
Not
of it.
once.
Not
I never
once.
saw this game in the wild or anything.
Yeah, I think this was like a marketing. In my opinion, like this had to be like a marketing thing because it's like when it came out, I was 12 years old. I was reading gaming magazines. I was reading comic books. I was watching Nickelodeon. And I don't even think there was a TV commercial for it.
I'd be interested to see if Ross remembers seeing Plok advertised.
Yeah.
Because it's a British developer.
Yeah, maybe it was advertised more heavily over there.
Perhaps.
It makes sense. But yeah, I don't remember seeing a damn thing.
You guys want to take one more break before we delve into some calls and shit?
Yeah.
I know we know what we're doing next week.
Yeah, Mega Man 3.
Mega Man 3. So, yeah. Let's
All right.
take a break and come back and finish this sucker.
Cool. And we're back.
Yeah. Got any more questions from anybody?
I got some questions. You want some?
Ploktions?
Some ploktions? Some fluctuation marks? Good Lord, I'm done. Okay, let's see. I have a quiz that came in from one Ross Rachel Green from across the pond, who probably enjoyed Plok growing up, I imagine, because I heard a rumor that every child in the United Kingdom got a copy of Plok.
Oh, probably.
Like if they got straight A's, like we got to go to like Showbiz Pizza, they got a copy of Plok. Bring your report card into what's the name of a British game store?
Sainsbury's.
Yeah, I think you're right. Bring your report card into Sainsbury's. Oh, they probably don't call it a report card either. They probably call it a school markings.
A grading missive.
I do.
Sainsbury's. That's the store over there.
Oh, that's a real store?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Bring it into your local Sainsbury's. Show us your boat race. Get a free copy of Plok. I got a quiz that came in entitled
And if you bring your skin and blister with you, we'll give her one too.
We got a quiz entitled Sad Santa Story. Great. Ross begins. What I really wanted for Christmas this year was a resin 3D printer. I have a filament printer, but a resin printer prints in super high detail, and I wanted to print and paint some super fancy minis. I remember when Ross sent us some minis. I thought they looked mighty fine.
They're damn good.
Ross continues, sadly, Santa must not have gotten my letter because under the tree was no resin printer. Sad noises.
Damn you, Santa.
Recently,
He didn't bring any sandwiches to drive
damage.
all the way across the island. It's like, fuck, man. Fuck.
it's like, oh, fuck. The Isle of Man? I thought it was just one of you. Fuck, I only brought one present. Look, well, this is an honest mistake. You can understand, right? I get to choose at random who gets the resin printer. Recently, I found one on sale on Facebook for a third of the price and rushed out to buy it. It required very little setup to make super nice prints, and now I am printing a mini in several parts because it can only print tiny things. Also, because the resin cures under UV, you have to clean the prints fairly quickly when they are finished so as not to ruin them. For me, that meant getting out of bed at 1 a.m. to clean a print and filter resin. That is dedication.
It is. Also known as a deal breaker.
Get up at 1 a.m. part. It's like, stay
up. Also, the resin is fairly toxic, so it's not nearly as convenient as I hoped it might be.
I actually had a big discussion with somebody about getting a 3D printer because Melissa really wants one, and then RC AJ has talked about it as well.
Yeah.
So a guy that I work with in IT was showing me he's got a resin 3D printer and was talking to me about it, and he was like, "You need the resin stuff, though. Make sure you have a big ventilated area because it's
stinky."
Yeah, and it's toxic,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, I guess I sort of do, but
yeah, it's
because he was showing me this it was Deadpool and Wolverine fighting. It would be like $1,000 thing to buy, but he's printing it for basically $200.
Yeah.
Like,
ruining the Wolverine Deadpool bus market.
Exactly.
One $200 bust at a time.
I think they're neat. I really do. But I also talked to a guy at work about one who he's totally into it. This is at my last job. What I always thought was funny was he's like, okay, here's what you need to buy, and he'd show me, and I have no intention of buying one of these. It's just kind of like, okay, we're going to talk about this, and it's fine because it is interesting, but I feel like I always need to be like, I'm not, just so you know, I'm not going to buy one of these. We are not going to be 3D printing buddies because
I'm not ready for the level of commitment.
We're not
yet.
adding that to the list.
Right,
of
exactly.
Shit I gotta do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't even watched all the Marvel shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Which ironically, he's printing a bunch of Marvel shit, like you're talking about. So he's like, okay, so the first thing you gotta do when you buy this is have it make parts for itself. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. Fuck this. Nope.
I'm not into meta printing.
Right.
No, thank you.
Because he's like, he's telling me okay, so if you make these parts yourself with the 3D printer, it's less expensive than buying the one that already has those parts on it. And it's seriously, I was like, all right, that's definitely not a hobby for me. If I right out the gate, I'm like, all right, let's make some cool shit. I'm going to make part 859C. Okay, here we go. How long is this going to take? 8 hours. All right, I'll come back.
Can it put me up some interest? If not,
but I do think they're cool. Are you going to get one?
not at this juncture.
Yeah,
because it's still an investment.
Oh, are they still super expensive?
I mean, because he was showing me the models and stuff like that. I mean, still $500, $700, but
yeah.
Not ready for that just yet.
Well, just get
not when RCH is going to need a car just around the corner.
Oh God,
unless she can print her own car.
There you go. Yeah, you wouldn't download a car, would you?
Well, now you can. Got a buddy at work at my job who's got like 3 3D printers, and he's super into it.
Yeah,
and has been for a couple of years now. He was like on the bleeding edge of 3D printing when it was like still brand new, kind of like writable CDs were for us.
Yeah,
you know how
sure.
oh my God, I can burn
verbatim
a
like
CD.
a motherfucker.
that's right.
But he's super into it. But he's not the kind of guy that's gonna fucking sit down and tell me. I have to go to him and say. I have to go to him and express real interest so he shows me. Otherwise, he's just going to say, look what I printed. And I'm going to be like, that's cool.
Man, you have a great work acquaintance right there.
Yes.
Man, that is great.
He is awesome.
Hey, you look busy. You got a lot of shit to do? Let me tell you about my 3D printer.
Yeah. No, he's not like that. That is not him.
Ross, what did you get for Christmas? If you didn't get the 3D printer, what did you get for Christmas? What did Santa bring?
Milked.
I hope you got milk. Have you talked?
I think he did say he got milked. I don't know what juncture there was milking.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, Christmas milking?
That's an old British tradition.
It is, right.
Put the topping on this toffee pudding. Milk Ross.
Ross continues. Anyway, top 10 PS2 games. Top 10. So these are going to be super easy, you guys.
We should get them all. Madden. Something.
Madden, guess a year. All right, here, I have an idea for this quiz. Instead of asking the questions, how about we just throw out our guesses what they are in random order and see if that works. That's there's no way we're going to keep up with that.
No.
But are there any just that you think are definitely going to be on?
I think
Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And there probably will be a Madden.
There probably will be a Madden.
Possibly a FIFA.
Maybe a FIFA.
I think they call it FIFA.
Then that's all. Those are all the PS2 games I can name.
That's it.
Guitaru Man's probably on there, right? Final Fantasy X-2 is probably on there, right?
Shadow Hearts.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
Just do it.
First question. This game follows a supernatural bounty hunter seeking the killer of his mother and brother.
Plok.
Supernatural bounty hunter.
Supernatural bounty hunter. Killer of his mother and brother.
Is that Devil May Cry?
Probably.
Is he a supernatural bounty hunter?
Probably. I don't know. Did Mr. Puzzles, did Dane message you about Devil May Cry? Is that why it's fresh in your mind?
Oh, no. I was just trying to think.
He messaged me about it and was like, man, it breaks my heart that y'all have never played a Devil May Cry game. And I'm like, it's not because I don't like it. It's just because I don't know. He's
just
like,
missed it.
He's like, I'm tempted to send you one. I was like, please don't do that.
Only if you're looking to waste postage.
Well, yeah. I was like, all that's going to do is make me feel guilty that I'm not playing it. And it's the time.
We still got 3D Dot Heroes over here.
Right. So 3D Dot Heroes locking it in. I'm good with Devil May Cry.
Sure. Yeah.
Locking it in. It is Devil May Cry.
Good.
All right.
Cool.
Just made Dane happy. All right. Next question. This fourth in the series sports game did away with the time limit and went to a more free roaming style.
Free roaming football 04.
Did a
No
sports
time
game.
limit, free roaming football.
Nickelodeon Guts?
Wonder if it's like a basketball game.
It almost, I think it might be.
It almost
free
would have
roaming
to
makes
be.
me think of like a skating game.
Street hoops.
Street hoops?
This
Free roaming?
Tony Hawk, maybe one of the Tony Hawk games, which was that was already in this quiz.
We are, but yeah, we only did one of the Tony Hawk games. I can't remember which one it was. No, I don't know.
Because
I have no idea. It's probably one of those SSX tricky games that keeps coming the fuck up.
or is Tony Hawk Underground, was that two, or was that
No idea.
one kind of blurs? I know Underground was number one.
1 and 2, those are PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I know that. After that, I have no idea. None.
It was the third one?
Fourth Tony
one.
Hawk 4.
Tony Hawk 4.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4.
Yeah.
Locking it in. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question. Hey.
Hey.
This 14th installment of the Madden NFL series. 14th. Okay, so the Madden series probably started in like 93, right?
2007.
To 2007. That seems late, but does that line up?
Maybe.
Madden 2007. Yeah? Or would it be?
Sure.
Yeah, 2007.
Better than Madden 2014 would have been my guess.
Where was I living in 2007? And were PS2s relevant at the
You
time?
were
Was I in Lexington at that point?
Because I was in culinary school.
And the PS3 came out when I was in Lexington. I just can't remember.
I was in DC when that came out.
Well, maybe it's more like
2006?
2006.
2005, 2006?
2006.
2006.
Sure. Split
Madden,
the difference.
NFL 2006. Locking it in. It is fucking 2003.
Ooh.
The 14th installment?
So it was 1989.
Wow.
Damn.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. Next question. This racing game is the third of its series and the first on the PS2. Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo.
Sure.
Gran Turismo 3?
Yeah.
Locking it in. It is Gran Turismo 3 Ace Back. I own that game. Came with my PlayStation.
Oh. Makes sense.
Where'd the TikTok cowboy come from?
What?
Wow. Man. All right. Next question. This crime game went back to the 80s. This
Vice
is
City.
Vice
City. Yeah.
Locking it in. The best Grand Theft Auto.
Absolutely the best.
And it is, in fact, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Next question. This crime game was the best-selling video game of 2004, with over 27.5 million copies sold worldwide as of 2011. It is the best-selling PlayStation 2 game and one of the best-selling video games of all time.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Locking it in. It is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh.
San Andreas.
Okay.
Half credit.
Half credit. Man, I remember when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. Holy shit. That's one of those games where it's like,
Jacob's dad. All about that shit. Yeah.
I remember that's one of those games. I remember where I was the first time I played it.
Nice.
And I remember being blown the fuck away. Where it's like you can go anywhere in the city and do anything you want.
Just whatever.
I can just blow shit with a bazooka. Like if I want to blow up that helicopter, I can just do that. And then run and get a new color on my car, and it's totally fine.
I can just do
because
that.
I'm a white guy. Yep, you can do that.
It's fucking wild. Next question. The story revolves around the Big Shell, a massive offshore cleanup facility seized by a group of terrorists. Some Metal Gear Solid game?
Maybe.
Probably.
I have no idea.
Big Shell.
Big boss.
Petroleum.
Big shell. Yeah. Echo the Dolphin.
Man, that's what I want. A Metal Gear Echo the Dolphin crossover.
Liquid Echo. Big Shell.
A massive offshore cleanup facility seized by a group of terrorists.
It's got to be a Metal Gear Solid.
And
something.
And wasn't Metal Gear Solid 3 one of the games already on the quiz?
Yeah.
So Metal Gear Solid 2? I don't know.
Sure, yeah, why not? Metal Gear Solid 1 was for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Let's just say a Metal Gear Solid game.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Guns of the Patriot Oil
Operation.
Boss Snakes.
Locking it in. It is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty.
All right.
Okay.
We got that.
Yeah,
That's
we
us.
did.
We got it.
Next question. We're so good getting the top 10 PS2. We're struggling.
I feel like we'd do better on PS1, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
This is my favorite game of the series. Despite being a divisive title, it does away with the survival aspect of the previous games and is more action-based as a result. Has to be a Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 4, right? Because 1, 2, and 3 is PlayStation.
Because 4 was... I know 4 was out on the Wii, so I feel like that's...
I don't think 5 was around until PlayStation 3.
It was on GameCube. I know there's a GameCube release of 4. So maybe 4. Because Nemesis 1, 2, and 3 Nemesis were PlayStation 1. So yeah.
Because I played all of them because I had a PlayStation. And when I had a bunch of time in high school.
Yep. And 4, I think you're right, 4.
Resident Evil 4, locking it in. Sorry if it's 5. It is Resident Evil 4.
Nice.
I stopped playing Resident Evil. After I played 3, I was like, okay. Because even at 3, like with it being like the city, feeling wide open, I felt like it took like that claustrophobic aspect of the game out. Because like 1 and 2 are so, 1 especially is so claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All of a sudden when I was running around the city, I was like, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem like the thing that I like.
I could be a hunk of tofu. Okay.
All right,
okay.
that's fine. Yeah. Next question.
I could be a Kuma. Are you sure?
Next question. This game stepped into 3D from the previous game's top-down perspective. That is Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
That has to be on the
has
list.
to be.
Locking it in. It is Grand Theft Auto 3.
All right.
Next question. This third in the series sports game was the last game released on the N64, which was discontinued months before release.
Third in the series sports game.
Yeah.
Sports or sports entertainment?
Ooh, it says sports, but...
Oh, no. Well, no, I'm thinking the wrong thing. Because No Mercy was only on N64.
I'm thinking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3,
Okay.
but I'm not
Was that the last game released on the N64?
I have no idea. No idea.
Last game released on the N64.
I just wanted to say it because it's the third in the series, and we had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 in this quiz.
Yeah, 3.
but I don't even know if 3 was PlayStation.
I don't know either.
All right.
Let's live on the edge.
Tony Hawk's Pro
We're almost
Skater
out of
3.
gas, Kramer. Let's go.
Locking it in. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. We done did the thing.
Nice.
Next question. Fuck, marry, kill. Adult animation. Family Guy. South Park. Here's where it gets interesting. BoJack Horseman.
I never saw BoJack Horseman.
It's good.
I love
BoJack Horseman's really,
BoJack Horseman.
really
So
good.
I'm not informed though.
And BoJack Horseman, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna marry BoJack Horseman because I think like on artistic merits, like I think BoJack Horseman is
BoJack is artistic and South Park is running social commentary.
right. And there's nothing. I mean, yeah, they just do
That's
different
good.
things,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing wrong with that. They just do different things.
Yeah.
BoJack Horseman. The reason I'm going to marry BoJack Horseman is because like the way that series approaches mental health is like it's really good.
It's so poignant,
It's poignant,
and dark
yeah.
and on point,
and
they
honest. I mean, it is
Yep,
honest,
and they get away with it because it's coming from a fucking talking horse.
right, right. And I think that's fantastic. I'll probably. I know why he didn't include The Simpsons on here, which is like that's the big 3, right?
Yeah.
The Simpsons, South Park, and Family Guy. I guess, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No one's gonna like this answer. I'm gonna fuck Family Guy. I'm gonna kill South Park. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just because South Park is not evergreen to me. And I get it. No one likes Family Guy anymore. But I can still watch it and still think it's funny. So yeah, sorry. I mean, I like South Park. I do. Don't get me wrong. And I think it does have more merit than Family Guy. But I don't know, man. Family
Guy is more consistently funny. South Park will be really hilarious or just crickets.
I know I will always laugh at least 3 times watching Family Guy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's just jokes per minute. And I just kind of like, I know a lot of people don't like the cutaways and shit like that, but
I
that's
love
just
cutaways.
a delivery.
Love
That's a
that.
joke delivery machine. And it's like, I'm not
So 30 Rock, fucking give me cutaways.
right.
Yeah.
Totally. So that's my probably controversial opinion on that.
Well, being uninformed, I'm just going to have to kill BoJack Horseman.
I get it.
Because I don't have a frame of reference that might change if I ever watch it.
I get it.
That being said, I'm going to marry Family Guy because,
Yeah.
like you, I can always laugh watching it. I think it's hilarious every single time I see it. Something about that show just gets me.
I also I haven't seen it recently, but I'm not intimidated to jump back in and like, oh fuck, yeah, there's an episode of Family Guy on, which never happens because it's all streaming for me now.
Right.
But if I was if I was in like, I don't know, a weird doctor's waiting room and Family Guy was on, I wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm not going to know what's going on.
You can just watch it and enjoy it.
Right.
Because it's consistently kind of the same thing, but it's always different enough and funny enough to be worth watching.
And it's old school sitcom in the way where it's like, it's Frasier. Relax. You can watch an episode. It doesn't matter what fucking season. And you'll just pick it up. It's fine. And a lot of times at South Park, especially recently, it feels like it's more like premiere television. You know what I mean? Where it's like each season has an arc, which I do think is cool. But a lot of time, like even now, it's like I haven't watched an episode of South Park in 5 years. And it's like it's like I can't. I don't feel like I can just jump back in and be like, what's going on in South Park? No.
Well, and I, by process of elimination in fucking South Park, and I love it for what it was. We were around when Jesus versus Santa came out and that whole thing started.
I remember that on the fucking internet.
And I couldn't believe it. And it was hilarious and groundbreaking and wonderful. And
I'd knock off South Park shit from Tater Day.
nice.
Do you have it still?
No.
Damn
I
it.
wish I did.
But
Dude, all the South Park fucking shirts I had, you just opened up a fucking memory door. I had a Respect My Authority shirt.
nice.
Man,
my
that was so
parents
cool.
would have never bought me that. It was just random cash and then popping balloons at Tater Day to get any South Park merch in my parents' house.
I was old enough to work, so I had that power.
Yeah. Well, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant show.
Absolutely.
And they're so unafraid to just say it like it is.
Yeah.
But watching it now, I'm kind of like, whatever. I don't, it's just because it's been around for so long. And that's not to say I couldn't sit down and watch 3 hours of The Simpsons right now if I wanted to, which has been around even longer. But it is kind of what it is. What I enjoy the most about South Park is those occasional videos I see on TikTok of them doing the voices in the studio.
Yeah.
Watching them do that shit and like literally just fucking. There was one what they were doing, and the guy, Bill Hader, was a voice. And those two just kept fucking, cracking up and laughing, and it was contagious, and that was really fun to watch.
Bill Hader with contagious laughter is like, I mean, that's just
But that's where I get my enjoyment now from that is I still appreciate what they do, because watching Trey Parker or Matt Stone do the voices, it's really good shit. So it's always going to have a special place in my heart. So that's the one I'm fucking.
And I also I respect Matt and Trey more than Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that too, but like separating them from like just the show on its own, having nothing to do with its creators.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to my answer. But if you get the creators involved, then all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't know, because Trey and Matt have done so many things that are so good.
Yeah, they're easy to support.
Yeah.
Mine is the less controversial version of yours, Dave. I'll marry BoJack, fuck South Park, and kill Family Guy.
Yeah. I feel like that's
All right. Good question.
That's still solid. That was a really good question. That one was tough. So what if we tinkered with that? Because I feel like there's so many because obviously The Simpsons wasn't on there, because that's
to me that's an automatic
marry.
Yeah, you can't not.
Another noticeable miss, Futurama, and what made me think of Futurama
I like Futurama more than I like The Simpsons.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
I think you're either one or the other.
Well, yeah. I mean,
obviously.
I like both, but
I do too. But I can see why
feels more.
I can see why you would like Futurama more.
Yeah, me
knowing
too.
you,
I like a cohesive story. I like the feels, and in addition to the
that's the one cartoon, one of maybe 3 cartoons in the history of cartoons of my life that made me fucking cry. And it
Prize
was
Dog.
Oh,
God, yeah, that was so fucking sad. So for sure, I can see how that would appeal to somebody more than The Simpsons, especially considering that The Simpsons is still going, and it's kind of the tank was empty a little while ago. It's still fine. I can still watch it, and I still enjoy it, even though
it's weird to see them with cell phones. That's my only thing.
It is.
I feel like at some point they should have been like, okay, it's perpetually the early 2000s. Like they should have just done that and been like, okay,
Bart and Lisa never aged.
Right.
So why would we still have cell phones?
I want to reboot it, take it back to Tracy Ullman, start all over.
Draw it exactly the same way. Yeah.
I've been watching The Simpsons in the background at work. Just
Simpsons is a great background show.
I picked up like season 18 because I think that's where I sort of started dropping off. And
you hung in there quite a ways.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Just realized that there's still a shitload of episodes to go. And I'm like, man, that puts a perspective on that I didn't have.
How long it's been.
I was a freshman in high school when The Simpsons started.
Oh, dude, I remember the summer that
1988.
I remember, I was 7 years old.
And 1987 was the Tracy Ullman shit.
See, and I wasn't hip to any of that. I remember seeing I remember seeing I guess a commercial for the pilot, which was the Christmas episode. And I was like, oh man, it's all we could talk about at school. And it's like, it came out. I remember I remember being excited for it. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
We watched Tracy Ullman religiously because I fucking love Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman's
saw
great.
And
Yeah.
I love the opening theme. Baby. God,
it's been so long since I've seen that.
It is a
when
great
they used to show
show.
reruns on Comedy Central, like after Mr. Katz and shit.
Mm-hmm. But we watched that, and then we saw those little skits of The Simpsons. And I was like, the fuck is this? It was weird. Those are weird.
I've watched them. I just didn't. I watched them after the fact, you know.
But then when the show came out, we were excited. Of course, we were in high school, and my parents weren't big fans.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had a little control over my destiny and was able to start watching that shit. But yeah, I mean, it's insane to me that show has been on since I was 13.
Yeah.
I am 48.
Damn.
That is insane. But it's wonderful. I love that it's still on. I love that they're all still there and they're all still cutting it every week.
Even though I don't watch it, I don't want it to stop.
I don't either. I want it to go on forever. And when it goes off,
it'll go off when Hank Azaria's dead.
Yeah. I mean, what are they gonna?
When Harry Shearer and Hank Azaria.
How?
No. Let's stop talking about
I don't.
this.
Yeah. Nope.
Let's stop talking about this. I'm going to edit that out. I'm not because I'm lazy. But man, my parents were cool with The Simpsons. They were always cool with shit like that.
My parents were okay with The Simpsons, but not Married with Children. And then Josh's house was the opposite.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching The Simpsons with my parents. I remember watching Married with Children with my parents, In Living Color, like all that stuff.
Oh, my parents would never have watched that shit with me.
No,
ever. They would have hated Married with Children.
Yeah,
I know this, but I loved it.
My dad liked it, so I mean, I think that's why I was allowed to watch it because it was just like, well, you know, we both like this, and we only have one TV, so.
Right? I begged my dad to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark with me.
Oh yeah,
and he did. And then said I could never watch it ever again.
Damn.
No. What episode was it?
It might have been the Fierce Soup episode.
Ew, yeah.
So, and then, of course, I couldn't watch wrestling because of The Undertaker. So.
Right, yeah.
Jesus.
Until he became the American Badass, then it was okay because he wasn't satanic anymore.
What about Jake the Snake? Also satanic, or
snake handling? That's religious. That's Jesus.
Right.
They do that in churches all over the place.
So we could do Futurama, The Simpsons, and Disenchantment,
and wrestling,
and wrestling.
Well, we know where Disenchantment would fall.
I don't.
I liked it,
yeah.
but we know where it would fall compared to Futurama and The Simpsons.
So that's why Ross didn't do that, because it
would have been over real quick.
Real fast.
Very little discussion.
All right. Okay. I agree. Fuck, marry, kill. The worst celebrities. Guy Fieri.
Wrong. Your premise is wrong, Ross. Guy Fieri is fucking amazing. He is giving. He is wonderful. Fuck you for including him on a worst celebrity list. Please go on.
Steven Seagal.
Okay,
Ooh,
yes.
that one
valid.
fits.
He belongs. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen. What did Charlie Sheen do?
Everything.
Yeah, he was just a...
Mel Gibson's not on there?
I think, yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, I don't know what Charlie Sheen did that would...
I mean, I know he was like, he got kind of like obviously ill there for a minute, but like outside of that,
I don't know if he was kind of like...
Did he do a bad thing?
Kind of rapey, maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't know, though. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I'm going to Google, what did Charlie Sheen do?
I think he was
wrong?
abusive to Denise Richards.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good.
I know he was hated on 2.5 Men. That's how he got killed off by having a piano dropped on him.
All right. What did Charlie Sheen do? Okay. A decade ago, according to Deadline.com, Sheen was the highest paid actor on TV, earning nearly $2 million per episode on 2.5 Men, a hit comedy for CBS. but he started to spiral downward when he pleaded guilty to domestic violence charges in August 2010 and had a public battle with drug addiction.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm with you, Tyler. I happen to like Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri, he might have a schlocky shtick.
Yeah.
But he is a wonderful human being who is out there feeding firefighters and Guy Fieri is an amazing human being. Marry Guy Fieri.
Absolutely.
100%.
I'm with you on that. I remember watching him. What show?
I might put him up there for best celebrities. Guy Fieri is fucking great.
He's a good guy. He really is. He has a good heart.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I mean, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives was him helping small businesses, going around helping these people
Being
who would
a
have
personality
never gotten.
that shows up and gives them recognition on national television. Yeah, for real. I like the guy. I mean, okay, fine. He's corny and he's got the look.
He can't change that shit now. But so is he's the Plok.
Wonderfully corny. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm marrying Guy Fieri.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of course, that leaves Charlie Sheen to be fucked.
Yeah, because Steven Seagal's the worst.
In every way.
Steven Seagal is, I've seen
the
so
worst.
much shit about what a terrible human being he is.
Yes,
Charlie Sheen sounds like he's just got
issues.
He's got his demons he's battling.
Yeah.
So.
Which I think he's come to grips with, and I think he's, cleaned up his act a lot. But Steven Seagal is unapologetically just a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do like some of his old movies, I can think of a few. Under Siege, Fire Down Below, a couple of those good action movies. I like the movies the same way I like Kevin Spacey movies. Even though Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit, I can't help but admit that I do like his work. So there's a couple of things about the Steven Seagal's that I'm okay with as far as his movies, but as a person, no. Kill.
I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yep.
If we can.
This was that dictator.
If he is killable.
Steven Seagal travels to Belarus to meet Europe's last dictator, and they ate carrots together.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Fuck, marry, kill. Sounds you constantly hear. Nails on a chalkboard. A disc grinder on a metal cylinder. High-pitched little girl screech.
Ugh.
So what's it sound like when a disc grinders on a metal cylinder? Is that the
I kind of sparks.
I kind of like that
That's a cool sound.
I don't mind that.
I'm gonna marry that one.
I've got to kill little girl because that's just panic inducing.
Sure, I get that.
Living with 5 girls, the sound of a little girl screaming, that's like, oh shit. So yeah, no, get rid of that. Then I guess fuck nails on a chalkboard. That's not so bad. And the squeal of that's my dad working in the garage. So I'm used to that.
That's a good sound for
I
me.
like that sound. Yeah,
I've made that sound working on things and using tools, and so yeah, that's good.
You have to constantly hear it though. Does that change answers? It doesn't for me.
Honestly, in my neighborhood, there's always some
Same
sound like that going on, and I'm at home all the time.
Yeah.
So there's chainsaws or there's grinding or there's something. So I'm used to it. I don't mind it. If I had to hear a little girl screaming all the time,
yeah, no, that'd be
out.
awful. No. All right, that's it.
Cool.
Thank you, Ross.
And we're running late and long,
Yep.
so we'll skip over the calls, but we're catching up. So please go ahead and give us a call. Let's build that call log back up. 270-883-2555. Mega Man next week. All our shit, just Google TADPOG. Let's see. Let's check out this Patreon real quick.
Do we have one of those?
Oh, yeah, we definitely have one of those Patreon.
Where?
Patreon.com/TADPOG.
Oh, shit. I should donate. I believe in this show. I should donate. I want these hosts to succeed. I should donate.
Yes.
Why have I not done that yet? Jesus.
All right, let me log right in and even ask for approval.
Woohoo.
All right, new donor. Thank you, Morgan Galloway Shan.
All right.
Thank you,
Morgan.
I always like the name Morgan.
I wonder if that's
It's a good name. Works for girls and boys.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
I like that. It's a good one.
Good name, Morgan.
I remember I went to when I went to England, there was a Morgan on our trip, and he and I got along very well. Maybe it's the same Morgan.
Maybe
if so,
could be.
Wow.
I miss you, bud. We were in middle school and said we keep in touch with each other, but of course we didn't because we lived in different cities.
Yep.
Well, I do have a list, speaking of Patreon, of what we call our executive producers. And these are the donors who donate $20 or more per month to the cause. We thank you so much. And I would like to tell you right now who these people are.
So sit right there.
Sit right there. Starting off, we have Temporal Eternal Savior Cubicle Monkey, God Emperor Alex Pena, Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Steve Dixon, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Clambro Cody Phillips, Bantha Master, Executive Producer Dig Dougie, Gangbug Prime Nathan Eaton. I screw that one up every time. Sorry, Nathan. Time Lord Josh Edwards, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, congratulations on your marriage. Sick Jake, we're sorry you fell for the marketing. Magical Sleeper, a.k.a. Big Dick Pie Baker, Chris Vaughn, please send me my games. Usurper Grim, Pinball Archmage, Chris Edler, I'm sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first time caller, Drink Smith, Joey Webster, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Barbecue Baron Andrew Rowland, and last but not least, General Kenobi Massacre. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll be on that list one day. You get to read my name. And that's just me paying Patreon.
Yeah, pretty much. You get it right back.
No, but not all of it.
Yeah.
I've linked to, let's see what, no, our theme song is Moves, I think we're dry. I've linked to that track from the show notes at TADPOG.com. How you guys want to close it out? Like your favorite Simpsons character?
That's a big ass.
Tall order.
I've
Your
got
favorite
mine.
Family Guy character then?
No, I've got Simpsons. I've got Simpsons.
I'll do something incoherent. No one will know what I'm doing. It's fine.
So until next time, tropical
Capricorn. Old Gil's gonna get that money and gonna donate to TADPOG $20 or more a month. He's gonna make that executive producer list.
Jack, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Jack.
You Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Man, I think about that song too many times a year.
So fucking good.
I think about it a lot.
You want an extra pineapple up that drink of yours? Got this, dog. Just want to give it free, man.
No, I thought you liked to
Free,
party.
man.
No.
Zero sugar, sun-kissed pineapple singles to go.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Can't even taste all the liquor that's in this drink.
Oh, boy. 0 calorie liquor.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's about as many 20 calories in this whole bottle, 5 calories in this thing. So it's just what's in this.
After when you add alcohol to a sugar-free drink, it automatically makes the alcohol sugar-free.
Yeah, I forgot about
Bread
that.
Totally fine. No calories. You won't get fat.
The secret is to already be fat.
That's my secret.
That's my
Cap.
secret.
Cap. I'm always fat.